When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
If a generalized black woman is doing this and being this, that is that is irresponsible.
No,
when you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
Showing me,
black and proud. Claim you're African, black
because
and proud.
I think that if
when you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
As a page,
what is the status of people who have FBA?
I'm telling you. When you claim you're African, you're going to get your mind back.
That's why I was laughing, because
I am claim you're African.
I'm not saying the framework doesn't do a thing, but
become a part of it.
We've been
embrace it.
To black men
become a part of it. Embrace
in control. We
become a part of it.
Only
embrace it.
That those one of the best stories I've ever heard.
Embrace it. When you claim you're African, you're going to get your mind
that
back.
mental growth takes place. You've been misled by leadership, for instance, that think that you can consume.
When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim you're African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you.
Peace and power, family. Dr. Daw back in the building, family. As you come into the studio and to the lecture hall, as you come in Daw's lecture hall, make sure you like the video, you thumb up the video, you do all the different things, you subscribe, you know, if you're first time, do the subscribing thing. If you listen to this later, make sure that you actually what is it called? Hype the video up. Hype the video up. I will ask you all if you can go back later and hype the video up. So let me see where you calling from, where you all coming in from, family. Just to let you know, I put the link in the chat. I want to have a conversation with you all today in Dawes Lecture Hall. So all of those in Dawes Lecture Hall, get the thumbs up, get the likes up. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So I have a topic today, and the topic of discussion today is Tariq exposes FBA Freedmen. FBA equals Freedmen, the same movement, different name. So Tariq exposes that. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of, I would say, tricks with it. They do what they do with what they do, how they do it. There's a lot of steam, and there's a lot of culture that Tariq is trying to build around this idea of FBA and so on and so forth. Although he's not the leader, he just happens to make a great majority of the decisions. You know what I mean? So again, I want to be real clear, real honest, real frank with you. I'm a bit tired of Tariq Nasheed running around and playing the Wizard of Oz. I mean, because look, and again, I challenge us, those who call themselves pan-Africanists or whatever variety, to not continue to play in this game. And when you see people around you that are playing the games, ask them some questions. We got to ask the questions, family. I want to work with us. I want to work with the Pan-African community, those that I love, those that I care for. But look, we can't be playing games with this, family. And this is not a just in basic nuance or ideological difference. This is a diametrical type of ideology that is actually working in a way to actually overthrow that what we know as Pan-Africanism, or the goal and the pursuits that we aim to achieve. No matter where you fall within that, no matter where you fall within the variety. So again, I'm gonna speak to the family in the chat. Peace and power. Pause NY. Pause NY. You know what it is. Peace. Mr. K from the UK. What it is, fam. To the Pan-African Library. Yeah. Mr. K, me and Cuz, we did talk about breaking some things down today. We want to do some further investigation, but I will say it may not be exactly what you sent me what I'm going to talk about today, but it has inspired something in me to come about. It it puts some water on a seed that has been germinating. You know what I mean? It puts some water on the seed that's been germinating, so I appreciate that. So again, Sham Shaver's in the house, Dr. The B, what it is, Doom Mega up in the building, real time, long time, haven't seen you in a long time in the building in real time. Well, I think you weren't there the other day, but the reality is I couldn't look, I wasn't here with the great Dr. Ball, you know what I mean? Look, me and Dr. Ball had a very interesting closing. People are hitting me up about that closing, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's something that I would love to have further conversation with Dr. Ball about, but also just that's basically what I talk about, identity. And I look at identity as something that we shouldn't take lightly. And when I say identity, any word, any label that names you, it has political underpinnings, or there's a ideological component within, and also that necessitated the creation of the term in the first place. So any term that you use, we got to be clear that it has political power or something like that. I was looking for another P. It's pungent in the political realm. You know what I mean? So family, as you come in, like the video. We're going to have a talk. We're going to have a talk again. We're going to talk about this idea. Tariq Nasheed exposes FBA equaling, being the same as Freedman, the same movement. You see me with my Race First shirt on. I got the Race First shirt on because I got to be clear about identity. I will argue, look, it ain't for everybody. I mean, well, maybe for other people in their race. But when I'm talking about race, I'm talking about that Black African race. And I would argue, I maintain that if that is not in first position, everything else will only confuse you. Hold up. Dr. Daw said that. And hold up. Write that down. Put it in the chat. I don't even know what I said. I just know we're going to have to work on that. If you don't put that, what we call race, in the first position, everything else will only confuse you. Matter of fact, that is basically, that's building off of what we know that our dear scholars, and some may disagree, but I look, I've seen it in practice. You know what I mean? I was thinking about this idea of, if you identify as you will, and that's cool because that's what people are going to do. But we have to understand that identity is always guided, undergirded by ideology. There's no neutral identity. I've already done shows on it. There's no neutral identities. So when I speak about, okay, let me be real clear. When I speak about FBA, I'm not talking about FBA from the position that this is how someone just wants to identify. They want to be identified as a foundational Black American, because I understand that there's more to it than that. I understand that there's more to it than that. I understand that once you identify with FBA, whether you know that there's an ideology behind it, if you intend to or not, you push that ideology, whether you know you're doing so or not. And then it seeps into our community, because there's no need for, and I maintain there's no need for this term FBA. There's no need for it. It is no, look, like, just for example, let me be very clear. When I talk about, look, LGBTQ plus, understand I'm a therapist. Understand that I work with everybody. Understand I have compassion and empathy for my brothers and sisters, no matter how they identify. But when I say LGBTQ plus, understand I am not talking about one's the way that one wants to identify, because, and I'm not just saying people who practice certain behaviors. I am talking about a identity category that was created through liberal ideas, that was created, and there's a political engine behind it to obtain certain political means. And we have to ask the question, what are they? The same thing with FBA, the same thing with ADOS, the same thing with you call yourself pan-Africanist. There's no empty, neutral identity labels. And again, that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about that today because that is what we're talking about when we talk about FBA and Freedmen. And I understand this historical trick that they're playing on us. And it just happens to be that these people are the pseudo-Moors. I'm not saying my dear brother Tahaka Bey. I'm talking about those Moors that Tahaka Bey calls out. You know what I mean? Those Moors that Tahaka Bey even calls out. Those Moors like Lord Abba, who now is Ali, who switched from one thing to the other thing. He continues to switch. Let me see who was in the chat, family. Let's see who was up in here. Mr. K says, peace to the Pan-African peacemaker. I think I've already read that. But peace again, brother. Again, Dr. Shavers to be. Welcome to the lecture hall, Dawes lecture hall. Dumega already said it. Okay, I think I just about got everybody in here. I'm gonna take a little different approach today, Mr. K, but we're gonna pick back up on that for sure. Because we wanted to actually look at the entire discussion so that we can be very thorough in our response. Mr. K says, you see, he's from the UK. He likes to use those S's instead of Z's. Can the FBA name their organized activities of protest, aid services, community self-advocacy programs, linkage networking, community self-help projects, and the self-empowerment in FBA communities? Hey. Look, let's talk about Freedmen today. All right, let's talk about Freedmen today. And let's get it started with this particular clip. This is a clip from the Don, Ron, FBA Ron, who's been, I went over there and checked him out to see what kind of noise he's been making recently. And this FBA thing is drying up, family. I don't even know if y'all realize it. It's really, in some sense, the work that we are doing is being successful. It's drying up. Keep fighting. I'm not saying it'll go away completely, but what I am saying, even Ron over there talking to himself now. He used to talk about those of us. He's a one trick pony. He's trying. But, I like Ron. He just, he told me to come over and talk about FBA because I'll get the views and all this and all of that type of thing. But I'm looking at Ron, man. Y'all go and go and give our brother Ron some love, man. Go and give our brother some Ron some love. And then Mr. Shavers then sent me like two doctors, both doctor. Why is it these doctor of educations? Why do these people with the doctorate degrees in education continue to find their way over there with FBA? I have no idea. Is it those who, what are they seeing? What are they noticing that lead them over there to now try to validate what we see and know is FBA? But let's get into this clip right here. Because, again, the title of today is Pan-African Fence Riders. Tariq exposes Freedman and FBA as the same thing. And I'm saying, with all due respect, family, with all due respect, we got to do better. We got to hold each other accountable. Family, hold me accountable. Family, hold me accountable with love, with care, and with opportunity to redeem myself. You know what I mean? With opportunity to redeem myself. What do you say, Mr. Shaver? You said, I'd like to know too, Doc. That's what it is. Oh, Mr. Kung Fu, old dirty Kung Fu's in the hizzle. He said, okay, I don't know what Mr. Kung Fu is saying here, but he says, Kevin, Mr. K came in the front door with the blammer, huh? Laughing out loud, dead, something. All right, so let's see what's going on. I don't know. I don't want to get all into the conversation, but I want to jump into these videos. I got quite a few today that I want to get through. So again, family, thumb up the video, like the video, share the video, and note that Dr. Dawg comes to the lecture hall with love. With love. Love for real. But one thing I can't do, family, is sit around and have us playing in each other's faces. It's not because I'm offended that I don't want us playing in each other's faces. It's not because it's my ego that I don't want people planting out faces. It's not because of that. It's because I love us too much. And even the people that are on the fence, somebody got to get them over. Somebody got to teach them what's, to be on the right side of history. Somebody got to check them. Somebody got to talk to us. We have to hold each other responsible. And if you online doing things, again, you can respond online. And again, please make a video of me. That's cool. Just tell the truth. And if you don't tell the truth, a lot of people don't. It's okay too. Just, get the numbers up. Let's get the numbers up. Just get the numbers up. You know what I mean? So again, Pan-African fence riders, Tariq Nasheed exposes Freedman and FBA is the same thing. Get family, share, like, subscribe. All right, let's get into this first video I have here.
A broad cultural, ethnic, and racial identity for people of African descent in the U.S.
This is Brother Unk. He is defining the definition of African American. The definition that he has here. I mean, I agree with it, but I don't totally agree with it. But I think since then he's evolved his own definition because he and I've had talks since then. You know what I mean? But Dr. Mayado is on here, and I'm wondering how much she's evolved her thoughts. I think that's a fair question to ask. I think that's a fair question to ask after you finish looking at what I put out here today, because again, as I continue to say that identity is very important. Identity gives us some idea of your political framework. You know what I mean? All right, let's get to it.
Okay, so you can get to the U.S. and you be classified as an African American, no matter where you come from, right? Caribbean and Washington. Okay, so you can get to the U.S. and you be classified.
So this is Ron putting some echoes on the video and all that type of thing to kind of emphasize some things. He's trying to emphasize this idea that if you come to the U.S., then you just become this African American. And we know in practice, and we know that in law and all that type of thing. And if we were to achieve reparations, that no one would just give reparations away to the wrong people. I mean, they just be making up stuff, but you gotta have something to fight on. I'm sorry that there's people with doctorate degrees being tricked. I'm sorry. I mean, that lets you know that, everybody's vulnerable. So, look, I'm just, sometimes we operate out of our own lanes though. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is with these doctorate of educations that's getting caught up with Tariq Nasheed. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about your doctorate of education. You know what I mean?
As an African American, man.
Oh, and then of course we got the doctorate of engineer here, who's also caught up.
Comes from, right? Caribbean and Washington.
No. I want to interject really quickly, Unc. This is why when you and I talk, I say, Unc, you don't think we should throw the term African American away? So
she says, do you not think we should throw the term African American away? I give us some grace, but I've done plenty of videos at this point to point out that while we say we've thrown it away, there's no need. But I would ask that my dear sister actually come out with some clarity on where she stands now. You know what I mean? She doesn't even have to deal with that because I've talked to them, and a lot of people they don't. We're actually American, they would say before they say African American, including her. You know what I mean? But maybe there's some change, and it's cool. You don't have to be down with African American, but just for the sense of what we're speaking to is reparations, we understand that they're making a lot of noise about nothing. Matter of fact, you might not get reparations. You probably won't get reparations, but you're fighting and acting like somebody else is going to come over here and usurp your identity and get your funds. Come on now, stop playing games. You probably not even going to get the money. And then you want to act like your way is the best way. Everybody's an expert. Look, some things you just don't know. Understand that when I'm speaking about this, I'm coming from a space that talks about trauma. I'm talking about race. I'm talking about identity and all of that, which is in my wheelhouse, research and years of experience. Look, everybody comes on the internet and becomes an expert, you know what I mean, in everything. And again, African-American is not what is being defined here per se. You might find a definition that says that, but in practice, in literature, in research, no, we know who African-Americans are. In fact, there's, you'll listen to them. One person says this and one person says that. I'm not talking about them particularly on this video. I'm talking about in general in the FBA and the Freedman community. You see what I'm saying? You will see that in general, they just say all types of things. You know what I mean? So, all right, family.
No, we just go away. I said, it's not specific to our lineage here in America. It's not specific to our lineage here in America. Anybody that comes over here who's a descendant, who is of African descent, can claim to be an African American. This is why I said I do believe that we should have a name that is specifically for us, that other Black immigrants cannot come into the country and hijack. And I do believe.
So again, there's this idea, there's this fear that from our Pan-African system that the immigrants are going to come in the country and hijack our stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying that everybody should protect their things, but there's a fear there. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's there. And again, that's probably why I'm cut off and Tariq is still in the Rolodex. That's probably why she's still in the movie. That's, you know, look, I love my sister. I'll just be real honest with you. I really love her. But look, I can't trust her. I can't, because what I mean is I can't trust her to do what is right unless people hold her accountable. Look, there has to be some level of, there has to be some accountability here. And I know people come to me, well, you know, just do this. Nah. Look, I'm not letting people who are dysregulated so easily from basic things that they do all the time, less and actually do it rougher. No. And then people who say half stories, try to make things up in people's minds behind the scenes, but really still dealing with Tariq Nasheed, who they know and have told me they know this person is a fraud. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not going to go to a degree that that these people talk about. I'm just saying somebody has to be held accountable. You know what I mean? Look, it's enough with the Wizard of Oz, Tariq Nasheed. I mean, I dealt with that with the elders for years, and it frustrated me. It frustrated me for years that I can't say there's not an elder on Hidden Colors that has been on Hidden Colors that has not said something. I mean, the ones I've talked to, look, I won't name them at this point, but there's none that I've talked to that has not said nasty and negative things and know that Tariq Nasheed is a fraud. And this is well before anybody has decided to part ways with them. What I'm saying at this point, after Baba Small has parted ways, in fact, he look, the dude Tariq who talks about everybody couldn't take one critique from Baba Small. He didn't take no vote for Baba Small. He took a vote for 19 Keys. You know what I mean? So again, our brothers and sisters in the quote unquote Pan-African, you know, at least they say they're Pan-Africanists, Black nationalists. I forgot what I was about to say, but nonetheless, let's keep it rocking.
And we should have a name that is specifically for us, that other Black immigrants cannot come into the country and hijack. And you were like, no, African American, they know who's who, and they, you know, you went through all that. But in your,
I agree with Unc. They know who's who.
These two bullets talk about exactly what I was arguing on the telephone. But please, did you change your position?
No, I didn't. I'm still the same.
Unc said I ain't changed my position because he know better. You know what I mean? He says I know better. You know what I mean? So this is probably not going to get into the weeds of it all, but I've heard Unc express that there's a difference between ethnicity, race, and break it down, and they know who they are. And yes, Unc is on with it. He's on it with that. I've just got to keep it a buck. You know, he's on it when it pertains to that. Those people, if this idea of this money comes around with people are calling reparations and all of this type of thing, if it happens, they know exactly who is who. Even if look, come on, there's so many things I debunked on this channel about the fear tactics they didn't try to put in people from the census to African American means this, and it's just, look, at this point you don't even have to do any research for FBA. You don't have to do any research for FBA. You just have to know that they're wrong. I mean, and guess what? It's not about if they get a few facts right. The reality is we do know that there's people in our community that are hurt by other people from other Black nations and also the return. They got so many reasons why they want to delineate. And I heard this new term by this brother Prince, whatever, talking about disaggregate. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? He says FBA is a delineation and Freedman is the disaggregation. You know what I mean? So hopefully we get to his video. I'm not sure how far we can get in there. Family, make sure you like this video up, you thumb up this video, make sure you subscribe to this video, make sure you hype this video up as it goes, as it uploads. But nonetheless, with all due respect, family, I do this, as Brother Jadorian says here, with strength and love for my people. I do it because I have strength and love for my people. It's not about me. Look, I don't have no enemies as far as pertaining, like, look, there's some people we just have to know that you have to keep an eye on. Dr. Naim Akbar speaks about some of us, especially men who we think are men, are still boys. And some of us are still males. Some of us look like adults and we look like we are trustworthy and we look like we have emotional regulation, but we don't. We look like we look like we can trustworthy. We talk like we're trustworthy. But look, if you ever hear a person who seems to adapt to every view of the people that come on their show, you gotta ask questions. I'm not saying don't give some respect, not give some space. And sometimes we all, include myself, we might not directly push back too hard, or we might do try to figure it out in real time. But look, family, you can't contort. And the fact is, who do you bring on? You bring anybody on your show. We have to ask the question, what are you doing shows for? And why are you bringing these people on your shows? Why? We have to ask the question, why do you bring all these type of peoples on your show? Is it, what aim is that serving when you know that we're drowning out here? What aim? Why would you introduce people to frauds and phonies? Unless you're going to debate them or something. You got to give them a little something. Even if it's a passive approach. It's an approach that asks questions that seem like, it has people thinking when these people are saying something. You got to have something. Come on, man. No. We got to do better, family. We got to do better.
Of course not. I'm still late.
I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with. I'm rolling with Freedman in specific cases, right? If need be.
That's what I.
So what she said? She rolling with?
I'm rolling with Freedman.
I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling.
I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with.
I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not.
I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with.
My dear sister
I'm rolling with
says,
Freedman.
and
No, I'm
also
not rolling
FBA.
I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with. I'm rolling with Freedman.
I'm saying I'm not, but I am. I'm not, but I am.
No,
He's
I'm not
saying,
rolling with-
really what he's saying is,
I'm
from my
rolling with
interpretation, I could be wrong, he can correct me, is that, look, if it's a need for it, then I will roll with it if it's going to get us that money. But that's in different cases, right? But yeah, I don't think it's making a difference. I mean, I don't think it makes a difference, honestly. I just don't really, it's kind of like, well, FBA and then this and that. So anyway, let's go to the next video. So Freedman, again, family, Pan-African fence riders. Tariq exposes Freedman and FBA as the same thing. Let's listen to as what did Brother Tariq call Tariq Nasheed? Freaky Ricky. All right, so this is your boy Tariq Nasheed.
Pizzazz. Let's get Brother Pizzazz in here. What's up, FBA Pizzazz? Oh, what happened to him? Oh, brother disappeared. Let's get T-Way in here. Let's get T-Way in here. T-Way, hop on. Waiting on T-Way to hop in.
What's going on, man? Quick question.
What's up, T?
What's going on, brother?
How you doing, T-Way?
It's working, so I make a living out here. It's working.
No doubt. No doubt. So what's on your mind?
I don't know if you've covered this before, but what's your opinion? How you feel about the whole Freedman label? If you have covered it, I ain't caught it yet, so.
Can y'all hear it, family? Give me a 1 if y'all can hear it loud and clear. It's a little low on my end, but hopefully you all can hear it. Sometimes it's low on my end and loud on yours.
I have. Oh yeah, I've covered that before, and I'm 100% with that. We have to use a lot of. Shut the fuck up, dogs. Hold on, wait.
The leader. Okay, I must introduce Tariq Nasheed properly. He is the leader of the FBA movement. He's the leader of the quasi move, the umbrella, the root movement or the offspring movement, Freedmen. I mean, they all look up to Tariq. Sometimes, just like other movements, like the Nation of Islam got 7,000 groups of it. And, but at the end of the day, it all goes back to Elijah Muhammad. Farrakhan is, he's one of the roots. I mean, not the one of the roots. He is one of the kind of the roots, but he's also one of the offspring. And quite like that, Tariq is the puppet master of these FBA, ADOS identity type of not ADOS. I'm sorry. Got some other leaders. You got Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore. I'm talking about FBA and the range groups that came as a result of FBA. FBA is a devolution of ADOS, and ADOS is already bad. You know what I mean? So again, I want to repeat to you that identity is ideological. So the terms you decide to use are very important because they tell you something about that person. So again, when I say terms like LGBTQ plus, right? And I'm critiquing some of that movement, I'm not talking about an individual. Let's not get that twisted. I'm not talking about a person and their preferences. I am talking about a political machine. I am talking about what you learn in academia. And it's just a root of a liberal framework within academia. So sometimes when you see a lot of people from these quote unquote educated spaces, I was indoctrinated with all of that. I was. As a therapist, I was indoctrinated. And it's almost a anathema to speak anything else. It is you will be cursed if you say something else in academia. You must go along with it. And so even when you don't know you're doing it, it happens because it clouds our minds. I'm telling you. So I'm not talking about when some person says FBA, I'm not talking about a person who's just saying, well, I identify as a foundation of Black American, and they don't know that there's a whole ideological movement. And then you must realize, just like FBA, all Black people in America don't identify as foundational Black American. Just like those brothers and sisters who are from those other identity, who you would just throw in those categories, they don't identify as such. Those who have sexual preferences or identities and like gender based, they don't all even identify with that movement. I am saying that movement in our minds represents everybody who has certain preferences or ideas. But no. Not everybody, let's say, who even the word like gay men or what have you, or same gender loving men or what have you, they don't all, or women or whatever. Like the terms, I'm just using the terms for the sake of conversation. They all don't do the rainbow thing. They don't. A lot of them are anti the rainbow thing. Again, I keep saying, look up Cleo Monago. He'll give you some ideas of what I'm talking about. So identity is really important, and we must be clear. I'm not speaking about whether you agree with a thing, disagree with a thing. Just understand that FBA does not represent all black people in America, as Tariq Nasheed tries to say. He's a trickster, just like LGBTQ, not the people who even unwittingly joined these ranks. I'm not talking about the people. I am talking about the liberal agenda that it was created through. All right?
Hold on, I hear the police. Hold on 1 second.
That's your boy Tariq.
Hold on. The police pulled somebody over right by my house. That's why my dogs are barking. All right. I'm gonna check on that in a second. But yeah, back to my man talking about the Freedman label. Great thing. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, we should use that, because when we use the Freedman label, that will alleviate the white supremacists trying to say that things should be race-based or whatever. Oh, they should. Okay, let me hold on, guys. Hold on, because my dogs are throwing them in the dances in the backyard.
Okay, so
hold on 1 second.
Ricky said it already.
Like
he says that we should use it, right? And he gave his rationale, but let's keep talking. This dream of reparations. I'm not saying that, we don't deserve it. I'm not saying that, look, I'm not saying none of that. We deserve more than they could ever give us. That's not what I'm saying. I want us to practice what Dr. Clark says. Dr. Clark says, people will say I said what I didn't say and stubbornly refuse to hear what I truly said.
They take their ass outside and they both get shot.
Talking to the dogs. Look at them. The dog's not even safe around them. Tariq.
That's why I want to get another pit bull. I got a Frenchie and a.
He don't feel like he's masculine enough right now, so he got to tell you about these dogs, and he got to get a pit bull to feel more masculine.
Guys, out of here. I saw that, guys. I got these little cute dogs for the kids. My wife won't let me get a pit bull. She's scared it's gonna eat up the.
So, brother, hits. I never said who came first. In fact, you're talking about this modern day version of Freedman. We're not talking about the historical group of people for a short period of time that label was given to. We are talking about, maybe you're talking about them, or maybe you're talking about Lord Abba and them, who tried to reclaim it, Dr. Mayat and them, who tried to reclaim it because they think that Africans and Caribbeans are coming to try to take their stuff.
Like, no. I want to get another damn pit bull. And she's like, I'm not cleaning up that shit. I know you ain't gonna clean it up. Yeah. But like I said, back to the Freedman label. I absolutely agree with using that, because that's what we were designated as. We were using that term.
So again, Tariq makes the orders and they follow.
After slavery, and the reparations were supposed to be designed for freedmen. So that's a term that we should definitely use. We have to.
So the reparations was designed for freedmen. So that's the term we should actually use. So again, it's about this fantasy of reparations. I mean, and it has to come through this lineage base, so a lineage way, or like when I hear other people who truly are thinkers, I think they are really not living in reality. Even this idea of this lineage based type of means of getting it. I'm not saying I'm even an expert in it, so it's not even a reason to debate me about this. But from my optic, those who I talk to that know way more about this than me, it seems to be a stronger argument if we do this from a global perspective. But I understand why people are hurt. Well, the Ghanaians, they sold us. And then the same people that say the Ghanaians sold us will also say they never existed they didn't exist before we became African American. So like they do this circular reasoning and all that type of thing, which is they say anything that supports their ideas at the moment.
Learn how to interchange our terminology in different settings.
So we got to entertain our terminology. And you know why? Because that was after a lot of us start saying, they're not giving you no goddamn. They're not giving you nothing when you sitting around calling yourself FBA. They're not doing that. That's just not, you know, like who's like, in fact, it's not even necessary because they're going, they're like, and who's going to stop people from saying they're FBA? Like, it makes no sense. Like, you can change the name all you want, but what's going to take you saying that Africans and Caribbeans are cosplaying? So what's going to stop them from cosplaying that way? You think the name is just going to do it? Really? Like, we've talked about this. This is ridiculous.
You understand? In a courtroom, if we're going to talk about getting reparations, the Freedman label would be absolutely perfect to use because that's a status that
in the courtroom, use the Freedman label.
And you're still talking about foundational Black Americans, but you're just not saying the word foundational Black American. You're talking about Freedman.
You're still talking about foundational Black American. You're just not saying foundational Black American. You're saying Freedman. Again, that's what Dr. Maya says she identifies as, right? You know what I mean? That's what she says she identifies as, right? You know what I mean?
I'm still late.
I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with. I'm rolling with.
She said, I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
Isn't a racial term, but it's about a specific.
And I'm saying, ask her the questions. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Because she's also said she's FBI. I'm just wondering, is she really, where is she at now? With all this information out here, with all the things that happen in our community, all of us who know that Tariq Nasheed is a scumbag. You know what I mean? Like, where are you at now? Look, I mean, at least whispering somebody, look, there has been things whispered in my ear. But what I am going to say is what's being whispered in my ear is not manifesting in real time, in reality, because there's this uplifting or upliftment of Tariq Nasheed that I heard. No denouncing of Tariq Nasheed and his talking points. It's just a laugh. Oh, well, it's always this care with Tariq Nasheed. It's care with Tariq Nasheed. Again, FBA, look, she said it. People can identify how they want. Just like I was talking at the bar the other day. People can identify how they want. People can identify how they want, but that does tell me about their political framework. And when you say you're a Freedman in 2026, it tells me something. If it doesn't tell you something, you have to ask someone, why do you want this identity label as a pan-African? I'm not saying when we clearly know that if that African American is a very clear, distinctive label. And that in fact, anybody can call themselves, you can go, well, anybody can call themselves African Americans. Anybody can call themselves a Freedman. Yeah. Anybody can call themselves a FBA. What's going to stop them? Tariq tests. What does Tariq do? What Tariq does is go on and says, well, the people calling his show, they say, no, I'm FBA. And the test that they have in the FBA world is Tariq. Tariq Nasheed is the test. He's like the the purity tester. It's not a standardized test. It's Tariq Nasheed. His observation. It's not a empirically based test. It's a subjective test, and the only tester they have is Tariq Nasheed. What you have to do is call up on Tariq Nasheed's show, and what he will do is tell you that you're not a FBA, although you told him that your lineage comes from this this country. And people think it's funny. They think it's funny that Tariq Nasheed, if he disagrees with you, he calls you a tether. He will say that, no, your name doesn't sound like FBA. But again, does Tariq Nasheed, as Brother Tahaka speaks about, sound like FBA? This brother, there's two brothers that I was just sent recently, and both of their name is Muhammad. I'm starting to be concerned about what is really going on? It's like these two doctors of education, they both have names like they're Muslim names. Then you got Tariq with a Muslim name. What's really real? What's really going on? I don't understand. Like, what is really going on, family? Like, Tariq gets to say, oh, who is FBA, quote unquote, whose ancestry came through the transatlantic enslavement process, the Mayafa, quote unquote, in this United States. He gets to tell you, due to how you sound into his ear, whether or not you are FBA. He gets to tell you that single-handedly. He does it all the time. You know what I mean? Like, he does this. You know, you got this guy here, another guy here. His name is Muhammad. Dr. Muhammad, look, the Dr. Muhammad files, he's a big FBA. Why reparations are for foundational Black Americans, not African states. So again, they get to tell you that your name doesn't sound FBA, but Dr. Muhammad can be FBA. And then Tariq Nasheed is FBA. Like, I don't know, quote unquote, you know, I mean, maybe they went to the Nation of Islam. I don't know. But it's interesting that Tariq Nasheed gets to tell you who are the true FBAs and what names sound like an FBA and who is FBA and who's not FBA. But it's a subjective test from Tariq Nasheed. It's not a real test. Then you have this brother here, Dr. Musa Abdullah, who goes on I think somebody said it earlier, Tim Black show. And oh, hold up, is this the right person? I guess he was an MSW at one time. So he has a social work degree as well. Interesting. But nonetheless, he's also a big proponent of FBA. You know what I mean? So he has a doctor of education from St. Peter's University. So again, Tariq Nasheed gets to tell you who is FBA, what names sound like FBA. That's his test. It goes by, what's your name? Where your family from? There ain't no FBA name, ma'am. You know, well, ma'am, I hear something in you. I hear a little something in your accent. Oh, family. Everybody knows that family down south. He's not considering people who might be family estranged, people who families who've been adopted. Like, there's no nuance in his. That's your scholar. That's your scholar. If I make sure you like the video up. See, these doctorate educations of I don't know what they're doing. They really need to go back. You know what I mean? They need to go back, and they're dangerous because they're trying to validate something that's out of their actually expertise, and they're stretching. Somebody else, Mr. Kevin. Or somebody sent me something. I forgot who it was. No. Brother KP sent me something about this other brother, and I think he's something similar to. Yeah, you know, these people, man. I tell you, I feel sorry for their wives. I'm just gonna be real honest with you. I feel sorry for their wives. American Dream, what it is, man. What it is. I haven't seen you in a while, man. So family, make sure you like this video, you share this video, you hype this video. I'm about to go back into some clips. Hey, No Face SC said Muslim names a ting. Kevin, Mr. K, No Face. I'm from the UK too. Okay, that's what it is. My UK family up in the house. You got what I'm saying? I saw somebody put something in here. Let me see. You should bring that's no, she blocked me. I can't bring her on the show. She blocked me because I had a critique. And it was a fair critique, a balanced critique. I didn't, but I didn't call out her name, none of that type of thing. But again, she gets to go out and talk about everybody and come strong at them. But because I had a Locks Rule Women, she blocked me. I can't. I'm her good homie, you know what I mean? But she blocked me, you know what I mean? But she's still Tariq Nasheed homie. You dig what I'm saying? I'm starting to sound like Boyce Watkins when he was talking about Umar Johnson back in the day. All right, y'all. Welcome the first time viewers to Dr. Dawes Lecture Hall. Dawes Lecture Hall family. Appreciate y'all taking this ride with me. I think so. Make sure if you haven't liked this video, family, as of yet, you like this video, share the link and all that type of thing. Again, the name of this broadcast is Pan-African Fence Riders. Tariq exposes Freedman and FBA as the same thing. All right, let's continue.
Racial group, so you can play that game too. You see, and the descendants of slaves. That's another great term to use from a legal standpoint, so that they can't turn around and
so
say.
He's also saying a descendant of slave is another name. All this is about reparations.
Yeah, you're making
the idea that reparations is possible. They're willing to sell out their entire global African family for this this fantasy of reparations through a lineage-based approach. They're trying to say, well, you know, we can't use race-based. You should hear the things I'm hearing out here. Oh, well, they made us use use racial language. They tried to set us up so we wouldn't be able to get reparations. Oh man, they say anything. I swear to God.
These policies, which is unconstitutional and all of that stuff. You can say descendants of slaves, you can say freedmen. What's important?
Again, my point here is that Freedman, Tariq Nasheed has approved the term to be appropriate for FBA. They can be used interchangeably. I'm positing that people just want to use the term Freedman because people like myself have articulated how dangerous FBA is and how it's a cult. So now they just kind of like they kind of use Freedman. You know what I mean? But I've heard them use FBA previously as well. My question is, have you asked Dr. Mayat, is she still an FBA? Is she still part of that? Anybody? Kaba. We know Kaba's an FBA. He's a real full-time fence rider. I mean, he ain't even really a fence rider at this point. He's just disrespectful. I can at least say Dr. Mayat is fence riding. I mean, she tends to do that. You know what I mean? That's what she tends to do. You just go and look at her shows. She doesn't like give too much pushback to anybody, or even a little bit, unless she feel like she can like embarrass you or something, or like she just don't like what you said. She'll cut you off. She knows she has struggles with dysregulation. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe that's why she blocked me, because she dysregulated really quickly and she just blocked me. Blah, 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 blah. I'll be honest with you, I do love my sister, but you can love people that can be dangerous. You know what I mean? You got to hold people accountable. I'm being real honest. You got to hold her accountable. I'm talking about my people here in B-More and those around. You got to hold her accountable. You can't look. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, family. It's not looking good. But, you know, again, first and foremost, because she is.
No, I'm not rolling with. I'm rolling with Freedman in specific.
Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling
because
with.
she said this.
I'm still late.
I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with. Of course not. I'm still late.
I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with. Of course not. I'm still late.
I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with. I'm rolling with Freedman in specific cases, right? If need be.
That's what I said. I said that on the phone.
And that's what Tariq Nasheed is saying. Roll with Freedman.
I've always said this.
In particular,
before we get anything together, we have to have the cultural understanding together. That's where the term foundational Black American comes in. So now we're talking about our general culture and how important our general culture is. So when we talk about our culture, we always use the term foundational Black American. That's why we're so codified now, because we're
he's telling everybody what to do. You know, you use FBA when you talk about our culture. You use Freedman when you in the court. This magical court that you're gonna end up in one day to get your big old pot of gold behind the rainbow.
On culture, foundational Black American, that's really something that helps us focus on the culture. Who are we and what have we done and what is our culture? And our culture is damn near everything. We didn't create it as foundational Black Americans, damn near everything of significance. You dig? And we're going to display a lot of our creations and inventions in the museum. We're going to display a whole bunch of that stuff. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal.
In the museum, man, come on now. We know that's not no museum. We know, like, a lot of us are sitting here. I mean, you know, what do they say? I can't remember. It's something like everybody plays a fool, you know, punks to jump up, you know, kid, you know, what is it? Everybody plays a fool, you know, and he be playing us, you know what I mean? Look, family, I hit the link if you want to come in, because I'm not going to be here too much longer. But I think I'm gonna show a few more videos. I think I'm gonna skip past. Let me see how he closes this out.
Do that. Okay. We have the white gentleman. We have Mr. Media. He's back. This is
okay. So that video is done with Tariq Nasheed. So now I want to show you what kind of prompted this conversation. I want to tell you the trickery and the slickery. Let me show you the slickery and the trickery here.
Net worth $285,000. While the Black Family Media Network is $44,900, and we don't know how much of that is padded by the influx of immigrants who have come to this country, and who were, for the most part, many of them were given a leg up in this country. Like I know for a fact.
So again, listen to it. He go with the these immigrants have been given a leg up, and he know as a fact. You know what I mean? This guy, I've been listening to him quite all day. He makes all types of claims and accusations with no real support. Listen to his support, though.
We have these conversations. We don't do the xenophobic banging on people.
Listen, he said we don't do the xenophobic banging. That is when you hear somebody say that, know they about to do the xenophobic banging. You got what I'm trying to say? It's like, please don't take offense, because I'm about to offend you. You know what I mean?
Africa. We don't do that over here. But if you try to come at us, you know.
And we going.
And here she go. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, right. You know that. You know he about to bang. You ain't gonna say nothing about it.
But if you try to come,
all this is banging. The fact that you even like putting fear and hate out into the atmosphere. The fact that you're saying, well, they getting a leg up on us. They getting a leg up on us. What does that do to us? You know what I mean? And even if there are some things, explain the leg up, show it, and then speak about how how there's what your perceived leg up is, and how we're getting played against one another. Or speak about how, you know, bring some evidence and don't just be talking. You know, you put up some numbers on the screen and somehow that makes people believable. Then you got our dear sister, Dr. Mayat, sitting up there with her doctorate degree, seemingly coming across as validation for this, because, you know, this guy is he's an internet hopper. You know, he hops around from one cult to another cult. Now he's created a cult, and everybody's just trying to find their way. He's been trying to find his way for a long time. This guy's been trying to find his way for a long time. He wants to be famous. You just can tell. But I'm going to tell you, they hang together. You know, they hang together. You know, this guy's been everything from a Malachi Z. Yorkian to a Sinetian. He thinks he's the #1 debate person. Just listen to him. Like, this is the quality that Dr. Matt brings on the show. She brought this guy on the show. I'm not saying he didn't bring some information that was accurate, but the overall goal is this mess right here. Oh, I'm not going to be xenophobic, but I'm going to be xenophobic. You dig what I'm saying?
You know,
And we going, yeah, absolutely.
We gonna get at you. We gonna get at you.
Yeah.
You know, I have these conversations with people.
Oh, and let me be clear. He is the founder of his own. He is like the president. I don't know. He created his own. What do they call it? He's a freedman. That's clear. Now he's a freedman. He's been everything. He was a fake Moor. He's been a Malachi Z. Yorkian. He's been almost everything. His name used to be Lord Abba. Now it's Ali. The guy got Lord in front of his name. This guy that put Lord. I mean, what's that? 5%? Well, he been a 5%. I guess. Look, bro, sis. He's been everything. You know what I mean? He's been everything. Now he's a freedman and none of that other stuff. But again, he brought in the pseudo Morris doctrine, you know, into this. And this is what he's bringing on the show. I'm not saying that nothing he says is accurate, because he has said many accurate things on the show before this. But what he does is uses that through this pseudo. Then see, it's one thing. Okay, even Yvette Carnell. What we got to realize is what people do. They'll give you information that's accurate, and then they'll give you their interpretation of the data. See, that's what you do in research. You do experiments and so on and so forth, and then you take and then you infer what this might be telling you. And I'm telling you, their inferences are horrible and they're divisive. And even in this case, he just brought this up. Like, I don't even know, like, he's talking about, I'm not going to be xenophobic, but he begins to become xenophobic. You dig what I'm saying? So he becomes xenophobic. Let's listen.
And they said, yeah, the U.S. handed us this. The U.S. handed us that when we got here. Not just African nations, people from the Caribbean. I could get it.
So the U.S. handed us this. The U.S. handed us that. The U.S. did this, did that. And this is like, so now he's planning in your mind that your Caribbean and African brothers and sisters, who I'm not going to be xenophobic about, I had to preface this. Okay, I prefaced it because I'm being xenophobic. Like, I'm spreading lies. Like, they got a hand up, a lot of them, most of, like, whatever. Like, look, I keep asking, yo, can you show me where the money at? Lord Abba, I got my wife from Jamaica. Look, I mean, born in Jamaica. Please help me find the money. We can use it to do more work as Pan-Africanists. Please show me the work. Show me the money. Show me the money. Because look, we missing something. My father-in-law, you talking about came here. My father-in-law came here, and when I first heard this, this upset me. Now it's coming back to me right now. My father-in-law came here working on a damn apple patch farm, picking apples. A visa to come and work under conditions that many of us would never, ever do. It pissed me off when I heard this on her platform. Yeah. Now, typically people say, well, you it's because you, no, I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm actually in this reality with with a Jamaican wife. I wasn't even thinking about that at first. I had to think about it. Like, some of these things they saying are lies. I had to think about it. Like, I had firsthand experience. But look, and that's anecdotal. But they using these anecdotal experiences and you letting it fly on your show as a Pan-Africanist. The scare tactics, the fear tactics. No. My father-in-law, rest in power, came here. It pissed me off when I heard this. I wanted to go immediately and address this. It pissed me off. Excuse my language. Because they have this hand up. I know how difficult it is for people from Black countries to get here. No, people want to come here. This is like to them the land of milk and honey. The streets are paved with gold. Bro and sis, if it was that easy, you better believe we'll have way more people over here. I have people from Nigeria working with me. Now, we got a class element to all of this, especially when we talk about like places like Nigeria. But that ain't all of them, brothers and sisters. Even those who come from those countries with their advanced degrees, which often aren't respected here, work for me installing cable. You dig what I'm saying? As contractors, worked hard too. Worked very hard. I mean, really hard. I mean, like, I had an old man named Sammy who was working harder than anybody younger than him, including his other Nigerian brothers and sisters. I mean, and he was an older brother. I might have to go and call. Sammy called me not too long ago. I need to find his number again. What I'm saying is, he had an advanced degree. They come up here as I know I had a brother at Sojourner Douglas College with me. I can't remember the brother. Good brother. I mean, good brother. I'll be real on, like, my man. Dang. I'm on to, if you watching this, Can you remember the brother's name? I didn't know he was from Africa, but what I did find out when I found out that he was from the continent, that he was an attorney, but they did not respect his degree when he got here. So he had to go back. He had to go back. He was in a bachelor's program to continue to build. A attorney in his country, but not here. They wouldn't respect it. But they respect these European immigrants. They respect a lot of other people who come here with their degrees. There is an element of class that we cannot deny, but that is not everybody. And for the most part, it's not a lot of them, especially in the Caribbean community. There's some truth to all of this, but they're misconstruing the information to plant seeds in your mind. Again, he said, oh, I'm not a xenophobic person, but look, he's creating this tension, this false narrative. This narrative is not real. I'm not saying there's no special set-asides for anybody, just like there's set-asides for African people, there's set-asides for men who go to college, there's set-asides for white people who go to HBCUs. There's all types of set-asides. But rather than creating this fear, rather than creating narratives and stretching them, how about talk about them? How about let's see, how do we address this as a community without causing more division? How about call people out, but do it in a way that is that is less xenophobic and less false? This is false. And even the fear in the way you say it, understand, people can say, I didn't say that, but you say it in a way that plants fear in people's minds. Again, I appreciate my peoples. But again, let me go back. My father-in-law came here and worked years to bring his children over, like one at a time. Damn, I'm thinking about that right now. He left his family, came here for years on a work visa, worked on an apple farm. My wife did not see him for years. He sent for his wife a year or so later. They worked up and they start bringing their children. Of course, his sister had to sponsor him. And it was difficult work once he got over here fully without the work visa. And they brought their children over, maybe one or I don't know how many at a time, but it wasn't everybody at the same time. My wife lived with a lot of her rearing was with her grandmother, due to them trying to find a way to provide what they thought or think is better. They worked very hard. An apple farm. That's not everybody's situation, but a lot of people come by various means. Mr. K says, Dr. Dennis, did Dr. Mike even challenge those Abadaba due to show and prove the studies showing the data? No, she typically does that. Not with this. She typically, if you say something, and she typically will come at your throat with it.
Bunch of stories that I've heard going way back when I was doing security in Brooklyn and speaking with this woman that owned this laundromat from St. Lucia, telling me all of the benefits that her and her people's got. A woman that I dated a few years ago from the islands, telling me all of the benefits that her and her people's.
So see, he goes down this now. He's all these people. Like he has all these people. Lord Abba, all these people. I know so many people in the Caribbean, from the Caribbean, from here to Queens to Delaware, you know, people I went to school. They don't have this story, B. They don't have this story. They don't have this narrative. I'm in Baltimore. Lots of people from Park Heights. I worked in cable. I worked in cable and satellite. Lots of people. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Like I'm saying, real deal. Like I used to be the translator between the American black brothers and sisters and the Jamaican black brothers and sisters, especially the brothers. Yeah, I was the translator. You know what I mean? Like even with my brothers and sisters from the continent, because a lot of times people don't have a lot of energy to kind of try to listen. So, but these ain't the stories. Look, I know the brothers and sisters. I know the brothers who came, and I didn't realize when I had a business that they were using tax IDs as social security numbers, and their records came back clean when they was. They were not even legally supposed to be here. The people I'm talking about, I was entrenched in this thing. I've seen it. I'm like, what? Talking about I'm like, yo, like, what's going on? It shocked me in my 20s. I'm like, yo, that happened? Like, hold up, what's going on? Visa ran out. What? I ain't look. Low, for real. It's real out here. So I'm saying this mystical narrative is crazy.
Right? Then you get to the mean average. And when you look at the mean average, right, we see that with white families, 1.37 million, I mean, to our 211,000. We are, how long we've been in this country, we're supposed to be right there with them. Nobody should be in second place above us.
Listen to that. I've been telling y'all the whole time. They don't want to be in first position or to equal things out. Lord Abba just said it. We should be right there with them, second in place. Nobody else should come here and be above us. Like, yo, while we over here in the Pan-African camps, we saying, nah, we looking for African sovereignty and power. See, that's what I'm saying. What's the word? Diametrically just opposite. They don't fit together with Pan-Africanism. And that's why they continue to bury Pan-Africanism.
And we should be 1B, and they'll be 1A because their population is larger than that.
He said 1A, we should be 1B because their population is larger. Now that is crazy statistics. Like, if you're really doing the math, just because a population is larger, no, let's look at it statistically. You know, like there's smaller populations that are outdoing the majority culture due to the size of the population and the jobs that I'm talking about, if you want to talk about jobs and all that type of thing, that outdo what you call white people. Just look it up.
That's a whole nother breakdown. I'm trying to get through some of this on our website. We have a 12-point political agenda. Y'all make sure y'all check that out so that y'all know that we have a plan. Recognition of freedman status through the constitutional framework. We went through the OMB. I was interviewed in the Associated Press, and that article was picked up by NBC, ABC, and many other.
With his accolades,
his wealth gap numbers, the white family media.
Now he's gonna, he's gonna big himself up, of course, right? Pause New York, say, bro, I have so much to say on this man.
Net worth 208.
Let's see. Pause New York says, I have so much to say on this man. Kevin Mr. K said, Lord Abba really talking about these imaginary Caribbeans like adolescents, kids would have imaginary friends. All right, let's see. Peace and power. Who do we have on the line? Where you calling from? Let's talk.
Hey, how you doing, bro? You can hear me?
I can hear you.
How you doing? How you doing? I'm gonna go by P Nice, as my brother Omar Wale used to call me.
P Nice?
Yeah. If you're familiar with Omar Wale Africa.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to figure where he at.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. That was my guy. I texted him too earlier this year. Nothing. So I don't know.
Mhm.
But I'll start off with this, right? You probably see me say this in the chat a couple of times, especially like I think last night when you briefly.
Yeah, I didn't see nothing last night, but
but I'll start off with like just like the social media aspect. So like part of this, as you mentioned before, is a grift, right? A lot of these people are just grifting. Like a lot of these people too, like they come from like the relationship, like the gender war grift.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's kind of that pipeline is kind of drying up. So now a lot of these people are transitioning to the FBA grift. Some of it, I guess you could say, is quote unquote genuine. But like I mentioned this too, like this what's her name? I think it's like Six the Goddess. I think she goes by. I'm not even lying to you, brother. It's some sister named Six the Goddess. I think she goes by.
I think I saw her. She got like all this Kemetic iconography on her and all that type of thing. And she talked for the FBA stuff. Her pseudo meiotic grift is up. Yeah, I'm not saying meiotic is bad. I'm saying that was another charlatan within our community.
Yeah, like and then even with her, it's weird for me too, because I recall her. The pandemic really showed a lot of people's asses. Part of the language, but it really did. But because at one point I swear she was identifying as Jamaican, like as Jamaican American, and then out of nowhere, like 2 years ago, she started, or a year and a half ago, she started on this FBA tirade. But I say all that to say, right? A lot of the people are, in my opinion, are doing this for the bread. To be straight up with you. I agree. Because like I don't understand how you can like even like with some of these scholars that you mentioned, like like Kaba, for example. They clearly know better, but I don't know. I guess the quote unquote documentary bag is that heavy that they're not even trying to like actually do what they as they always would say, speak truth to power.
I mean, I heard they only, for some people I know, got as low as $500. I don't know if it's consistent across the board, but I will say I think it's more than the money. It's also the access and also people like getting notoriety and followers and things like that, where you can then leverage that to make money.
Yeah, because I would even say too, right? Like even James Smalls, I'm gonna keep it a stack. You probably saw the video too with Omar Wale when he was talking, putting Professor James Smalls on early to the FBA stuff. And he was kind of like on that, kind of like on that fence a little, like.
Oh yeah, he was on it since majorly. Yeah,
because he was claiming he didn't know it was that deep, and it's like, I don't know what you're looking at. He was even at the FBA conference, mind you. That was some years back.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I don't know. So so I guess now it's like kind of, I guess he couldn't compromise his morals anymore. I guess in Jay Small's case. But like, yeah, bro, I really feel like it's just really just the bread, and then as you said too, like the popularity. Because I mentioned this in the chat too. I don't see where Ma'a is going to go. Like, is she going to now change her name to something else now, or what? Because I don't understand this.
It's just going to continue to ride the fence. That's all. Nobody's going. No, I don't know if anybody's really going to hold her accountable. It's just going to ride the fence.
Because even too, and this is crazy because obviously I don't know if my accent gives it off, but I'm from New York City, so it's even more weird for me too. Because at one point in time, this used to be the hub of Black consciousness. at one point in time, and now I'm slowly seeing the degradation of that. Like, you know,
it's been going on a long time.
Yeah, so it's like it's very strange to me, even like hearing this dude. Like, you know,
because I used to complain about Sinetta, and all these same people has been, for the most part, have been on Sinetta's platform. I used to complain about Sinetta, and in fact, I suggested to my dear sister, Dr. Mayat, not to go on anymore because he disrespected her. But lots of people who went on there, they go to these platforms, and they continue. You know what I mean? They see. Look, it is a serious racket. For what? I think we can assume and come up with some educated guesses, but who's doing it for what? That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But definitely what it's not doing is serving our community in a healthy way. And I can make some educated guess on why she and who he and other people are doing things. But the reality is a lot of these people, including Dr. Matt, they are internet personalities. And I'm not saying that none of them do anything in the streets, but that is where I've even come to know her. And now, you know, and because I knew she was in Baltimore, I reached out to her years ago. I got video of her. I was really impressed by her. I mean, and things that she does, and still things she does that I'm impressed by. But this right here in her behavior as it pertains to me, but as a result of saying, hold up, we in the community, we got to be careful with bigging up Tariq Nasheed. To me, that is not worthy of cutting me off. Your homie, your brother, one that you've been, you know, that you bigged up at times. Like, you mean to tell me all it takes is one, even if you didn't like the thumbnail, you know what I mean? Like, if you didn't like the thumbnail, like you can go and look at the thumbnail. The thumbnail was not bad. In fact, it said a respectful response. And if I say something, if I say something to someone and someone responds, I can support, you know, my engagement with people. I can support, like, you might not agree, or everybody might not agree who I sit down with or talk to, but I'm not, look, you got the right to critique it. I know people, again, like I brought Dr. Ball another day, and I said that people give me flack for even saying the things that Dr. Ball says, and I know people like this with this intra-community type of differences. But at the same time, there's people who they struggle with this idea of Black buying power being a myth. And even if they find out that is a myth, they feel like he's tearing down Black businesses. I just don't see it that way. And even if I see it that way, I could see how people see it, can leave with that, though. I can see how people could leave with this idea that Dr. Ball says F all Black businesses. That's why I bring him on the show. And I ask him the question, Dr. Ball, what's your ideas about Black business? Are you saying Black businesses are needed? I ask him the questions. I would say do the same thing with Tariq Nasheed. Do the same thing with Dr. Mayat.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
No, I agree. I actually got to go back and fully watch that live because I caught it at the last like 20 minutes or so. But yeah, like even like today, like this, like even yesterday and today, right, with Juneteenth, like even this, like this, I feel like I genuinely feel like it could just be on the internet a little bit too much than I need to be. But I really am seeing like this FBA thing, or you know, FBA Jason, I'll say, you know, thing, you know, coming to be, like it's actually like growing, like even like how we talked about yesterday, like with the co-opting of stuff, like the Black American heritage flag, that has nothing to do with FBA. Even like the colors and the Moorish sword and the laurels, that was all there to connect you to being African. But I noticed a lot of these people do not read anything. They don't research anything. They just parrot a lot of things that they hear online or to people that's speaking their, you know, what they truly feel. I feel like a lot of these people are like coming out and voicing how their true feelings towards other black people rather than suppressing them now with this new ideology. Even going as far as to say, I don't know if you saw too, that other black people that's not from America, pretty much they can't participate in the celebration of Juneteenth.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like, what are we saying?
That's what they're saying. That's the FBA, the Freedmen, the those are the people who are saying these things. It's the Tariq Nasheedians, it's the Solarians, the Solanians, now they have the group called, they now want to just say I'm Black American. They send the Black Americans, which is the most ridiculous that's the most ridiculous term to co-opt. If you were to co-opt any term, it should be African American. And I'm saying that because people tend to know people know what an African American is. Ain't no look,
yeah, exactly.
Nobody's even if you don't agree with the term. Like some of us politically say I'm African, period. And that's okay. You know, I hear them saying, well, that's not what your passport say. Okay, fool, because you don't understand that this is a political move. A political move, you don't have to go by what your oppressor says you are. So you can define for yourself. But see, people in African Senate circles, to me, that's like telling you, go back to basic Kwanzaa 101. That's the first principle.
I just want to quickly respond to Dre. That's not true. Even like the guy's niece, like the two guys that made that flag, one of their nieces even called out FBA for misusing Dre without.
Okay. Is this it right here?
When he says the Black American heritage flag was not to connect you to Africa, it very much is. Okay. You look up the symbols, but whatever. Anyways,
the Black American heritage flag was not there to connect you to Africa. I don't really know anything about any of that. So y'all look, family, do your own research.
Which they don't do, but whatever.
I think I looked it up a little. I thought I looked up something today, and hold up, did I? Or you know what? I think I may have read something from somebody else who might have said something similar. Who said basically the person who created the African American heritage flag, not the red, black, and green joint, but the one with the sword, and basically was saying that the reason why they created that flag, or that person created that flag, was to show the distinct and how I heard this from the guy divine somebody. What is his name? Divine. He's another one. Divine Prince. Divine Prince. But anyway, brother, anything before we wrap this up? I'm going to do a few more videos. See if anybody else comes in. You can stay in the back if you want, or you can hang on or you can come back up if you need to.
Now, I pretty much said everything I wanted to say. I've been holding this in for like a minute now.
Well, I appreciate
it. It's nice to actually get it out.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate what you brought. Is something that gives us some context and some things to consider. You take care and keep tuning in. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna still be tuned in. But all right, buddy.
All right. So, family, that was. Brother P, I can't remember what he said. Brother P. Okay, that's Brother P. So look, let's get into okay, that was the video with. So if you say, well, Lord Abba, contextually that wasn't, if you weren't convinced with Lord Abba's xenophobia, undercover xenophobia. Oh, I'm not xenophobic, but I'm xenophobic. No, I'm not xenophobic. Generally, I'm just Black and Caribbean African xenophobic. You know what I mean? Like that's what not Divine Prospect. The guy named Divine Prospect. Interesting. Yeah, he's a Hebrew, but interesting brother. But this guy name is Divine Prince. But let's get into Brother Naeem, aka Lord Abba, again. Let's look, because if you're not convinced that he's xenophobic, let's see how he responds to Umar Johnson when he came out with, I think, Dafi. Maybe that was the period of time. Let's see.
Peace. Greetings to you all. It's your brother Naeem, BKA Lord Abba, aka Mr. Just the Facts. All right,
Mr. Just the Facts with no resource. Yeah, he does bring some facts, but then he gives you his spin. It ain't just facts. It's facts with spin, okay?
Family. So I wanna respond to Umar, right? Umar, I think he's a clown. He's just like,
you know, this is what they do, right? I just be honest with you. That's what they do, man. They call out people like Umar. You're gonna see what he does. They like my dear sister did with Godfrey. They want these people to give them some time and some attention.
Gotta call a clown, and he's trolling right now for shits and giggles and clicks and likes, but more importantly, he's trolling for donations, right? Because that's.
And why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I do want us to get in the algorithm. I do want to give more correct information. I do want to show you what people are doing to our communities, how people are causing division, give you a better narrative. I do this because I do want people to hold Dr. Maya accountable so she can do good work in our community, not just her, hold everybody accountable, me, myself, everybody, like hold us accountable. You know, I mean, I do this because I want us to do better. But it's easy to see people who just want attention, especially this guy.
His shtick. And in order to get the donations, he understands the wealth positionality of American freedmen in this country. And when I say American freedmen, I mean those of us who can trace our ancestry back to emancipated persons in this country. He also knows the wealth positionality of people from the Caribbean and people from the continent of Africa, because these are the people that America has selected to be our replacements, which is.
So again, now he's doing more fear mongering. These are the people that America has selected to be our replacements. You hear that? I'm not xenophobic, but I'm just afraid. I'm not xenophobic. I just call myself FBA because I want to delineate and I'm not xenophobic, but I just want to be what did Dr. Maya say earlier? No, that we need to be able to distinguish us from them so that we won't be this, you know, like so they won't come over and pretty much take our reparations. There's a lot of xenophobia. There's fear, this is fear mongering right here. And this is perhaps what got people caught up in people taking the FBA label like my dear sister. I mean, again, I don't know if she still subscribes to it, but again, I think that when you say things on the internet, it's no, let's revisit it. Let's, like, if you say you a thing now, we need to know where you are now. Now, look, I know where you at. You on the fence, but for the people, because people are asking me again. Yeah, look, people ask me like, what's up with this? What's up with that? What's up with this one? What's up with that one? So again, you know, look, it's hard for me to do this type of thing, just to be honest with you, but it got to be done. I had to think about it. Like, look, I think about things before I do it. I have to, like, I don't want to do this. But to be consistent, I have to do this. You know what I mean? I can't, yeah, it's hard for me to do this. I can't challenge somebody else to challenge other people if I don't challenge the mess. I want to model, like, no, we need to ask the questions. Where are you now? Because you said you're FBA. You said that you FBA and pan-Africanist. Dr. Daw has showed you that you can't be both of those. I mean, if you were confused, that's one thing. You've even agreed with him. You called the elders phony. Now, for you, so that you won't be phony, where do you stand? I know you said that you about to get off this train too. Did you get off the train? I'm about to get off the train and said I got off the train. It's two different things. Did you get off the train? I'm not sure if you got off the train. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Freedman is what was said. I'm Freedman is what was said. So I'm trying to figure out if you got off the train.
I'm still the same. No, of course not. I'm still A.
I'm
Right.
rolling with Freedman.
I'm rolling with Freedman, she says. I'm rolling with Freedman.
Of course not. I'm still A.
I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling.
So again, where are you now? And we see that Tariq Nasheed said he gave permission to the FBAs to say, look, y'all FBA, y'all can also be freedmen. That's what he was saying. Look, the person called up, like, what's your thoughts about it, Tariq? he didn't want to say, I'm asking you for permission, but he was asking for permission. You dig? That ain't how he said. You dig? You dig? You dig? He was asking for permission. He gave them permission to be freedmen. Okay.
$5,000 while the black.
So this guy is showing you that he's more xenophobic than he claims to admit.
Why they have high college admissions rates, which is why we had no problem with the Caribbean and people from the continent of Africa, because these are the people that America has selected to be our replacements, which is why they have high college admissions rates, which is why.
So they got high college admissions rates because they have been selected to replace us. In what way? Like, what are you saying? What are you saying, brother? But you're not xenophobic. You coming for Umar. Umar just said he's a die-fi. Now, what is all this for? Why you got to continue to talk about, why you got to continue to spew your anti-black immigrant xenophobic ideas, but say you're not?
We had no...
When you're on Dr. Mayat show, because you know she's on the fence. She does both. But you can't do both. They cancel each other out. You know, fence straddling. Kaba's not fence straddling. Kaba is a daggone right. I would argue that Kaba Kamene is just playing you. He's just playing you outright. Look, I give Dr. Mayat a little bit more leeway, just still, honestly. But she knows that Tariq is a scumbag, but then she's gonna get on here and talk about he's all this good stuff. That's something that's what got her blocking me everywhere, because I'm like, hold up, sis. You can't be, why are you lifting up this fraud, man? Why are you doing that? You know that ain't right. But then you're gonna get mad because I say, no, you don't do that, then you block me and all this, but you still sitting with the fraud. That's the absurd thing, for real. Like, you block your dear brother who has a resume in the community for helping people, including you. When Dr. Mayat I didn't even know Dr. Mayat that well. But when young Pharaoh came out for her, I showed up to court with her to support and show some love, because that he was out of pocket. He was out of pocket. Sarnetta was out of pocket. You dig? I ain't do none of that. She dealt with a lot more with them because their platform was there. She dealt with a lot. Dr. Mayat went on Tommy. She don't know what she want to be. I just be honest with you. She been on Tommy Sotomayor's show, beating up, like letting him beat up on women. It doesn't matter. She morphs into whatever, but we got to hold her accountable. I'm just being honest. Look, I'm just being honest. Like, I was so like, hold up, what is she doing on Tommy Sotomayor's show? Actually supporting his denigration of black women. Like, she literally was there with him talking that mess. Yeah. I can only assume people want to be superstars and they don't want to let go of hidden colors.
Problem with the affirmative action ruling. So let's get into some of the silliness that Umar is saying about race-based reparations. There's a video, and I reference this video all the time, an interview of our great elder, Muhammad Ali, speaking about after he came back from fighting for our country, representing our country, I should say, in the Olympics. And there was an African.
I want to keep in mind that this video, I'm playing this video to show you that this is the guy that Dr. Mayat bring on his show. And lets him spew xenophobic rhetoric with no challenge. Because he's a freedman. He's the boss of the freedmen. He's one of the bosses of one of the iterations of what freedmen are.
He said that they were so dark, their skin complexion.
And please understand that, you know, we all sometimes can do soft interviews. You know what I mean? But at least, what are your thoughts about this, dear doctor? I mean, I would like to hear her thoughts about it. Like, there's no challenge. There's no like, what are your thoughts about this stuff he's saying? What are your thoughts about FBA? Are you still an FBA? Now that you know that Tariq Nasheed is a fraud, you already knew he was a fraud, but now that you know he's more of a fraud, now that he's disrespected the elders, now that you know that all the things that's going on behind the scenes, like, do you still rock with Tariq Nasheed? I mean, I get it. I do get it. Like, if you want to be in a movie, I do get it. I do get it. I do. That would compromise someone's way of moving, and I get that. And I'll give you a pass. I'll give people a pass on that. But what I can't give people a pass on is when they up there lifting you up. If I know you're a fraud, if I go to NBC News, ABC News, I'm about to be in a documentary with someone who's famous or what have you, like a real documentary, not this thing that they're working on. Now, if I wanted to, and I wanted to justify it in my mind, I would say, well, I'm going neutral, because I will go on NBC News. I would go on NBC News. If they come here, I will go there. But I'm not going to lift up NBC like there's something good. No, I won't. I don't even think I would go on a Tariq Nasheed thing. But even if I did, I can clearly say no. People ask me to go on SideNet all the time. No. But just say if I decided to change my mind one day, I would never lift Tariq Nasheed up. Oh, that's my brother. Oh, Tariq, people come hard for Tariq. Oh my God. He always treat me good when I talk to him. After he didn't talk so bad about Garvey. He didn't talk so bad about the woman he had on the phone, call her a wide hip, what do you call it? A wide hip, big head, tether or something. I don't know. He talks to people all types of way. Like, long as he don't talk to you that way, it's fine. You dig? I mean, what I'm saying is, like, what do you believe now? That's the question. What do you believe now? I mean, it's so much more. It's that rabbit hole is so deep, so much more deeper than this. Because I'm going to stay respectful, because I want our community to hold us accountable. I can't work with her when nobody's holding her accountable. I'm sorry. But if people start holding her accountable and asking the right questions, then maybe I can. Because she gets to discard of me and act like there's no problem. No one's going to check me. So, and to me, that's like, I'd like to believe that I'm a person in the community that is integral. Just a small piece. Just a small piece. And anybody, for that matter, and yeah, anyone who's literally working to uplift their community or work collectively together in these Pan-African ideas that we have. The integral. You know what I mean? But if it's kind of like what I realized in the business world is this. I realized that in the business world, we came up in that problem when I used to have a contracting company. That what would happen, and even in movement work, you know, I talk to other organizers here. And when you have organizations or businesses where people can just hop around and nobody holds them accountable where they go, they won't change. They'll go from your organization cause hell to this organization cause hell, and they will continue to do the thing. And believe me, they won't stop it on their own. There has to be those of us holding each other, one another accountable. I promise you, they won't do it on their own. They won't. But as long as we allow people to just do and play in our faces, we know, look, we're getting played. We know it. We know it. We have hope. You know what I mean? We have hope. But the reality, some of us have hope. We don't even know. But there's those of us that know, and we see these things. Hold us accountable. Hold us accountable who come on these internet. Ask us the questions. Ask the questions. Where you sit, Brother Asar, with this? I might not even have an answer for everything, but the reality is where there's some answers that are very basic, like FBA and pan-Africanism, because FBA or Tariq Nasheed and his integrity and his moral, his character, those are easy. I'm not even talking about complex questions. But let's say we don't even do Tariq Nasheed, but what about FBA? You dig what I'm saying? All right, let's go back to Naeem. I know he probably feels good that I'm playing it. Look, people like with that type of personality, they just like for you to talk about them.
Was so dark that they were blue. He said they went into this Kentucky diner and they served them. They served them. But they wouldn't serve Muhammad Ali. See, they served the African Negro, but not the American freedman.
You see that? Now, I would have to look at this. I would have, you know what? I meant to research this today. Maybe y'all can research it. It doesn't matter to me because that's not my reason for coming before you, whether or not it's true or not, or what Muhammad Ali said or how he said it. And I would probably conclude that Muhammad Ali wasn't trying to cause division, even that if this is true. You know what I mean? Like, even if this is true, this guy's taking this to weaponize this experience and to bring fear and division within our communities. This guy say he's not xenophobic. I'm a freedman. I'm not a Tariq. I'm not xenophobic, he said on Dr. Mayat's show, but then he goes out with these xenophobic lies and tropes.
That means that this is a status issue. It's not necessarily a race-based issue. Find that video. Matter of fact,
see, this is his Morris science coming out, and some of his Tariq Nasheed's coming out. Because now you gotta remember, Tariq Nasheed played more too. They all just jump around. They play everything. They play Nawupian. They play Melanin Nation. They played. This guy was everything, family. He was everything. I think he was even a part of the regular Nation of Islam. This guy will jump on anything. How do you like? I mean, he will study a thing because whatever it is he can find his way into being successful. That's what he does. I'm not saying he didn't learn some facts or data. Like, what I'm saying is what he does with the data and the facts is misconstrue or utilize them to plant seeds in our minds that cause division, because it's in his mind is going to serve him.
Go to the Be the Power Instagram page, and that video of Muhammad Ali's interview is on there. Check it out for yourselves.
So you planted the seed to create a narrative no matter what goes on there. Okay? Understand the trickery.
You can see exactly what I'm talking about. So why didn't they discriminate against the African? Why did they discriminate against Muhammad Ali? I want you all to think about that for a moment. In a book, I forget the author's name, but the name of the book is called Mau Mau of Harlem. The author speaks about how the State Department, I believe this was in the 60s or 70s, wanted to give lapel pins to Africans, who were coming over here, particularly the diplomats, because the wives were complaining about being mistreated as American Negroes. And so what the Justice Department did was they had this conversation like, I think we should give the Africans, you know, the people from that's coming over from Africa, special pins so that they can be identified as distinct.
So, all right, let's read what Mr. K says here. He says, Dr. Dennis, I am a Muhammad Ali history buff, and Lord Abba is only telling half the story up until the point he made this. Maybe those African immigrants that Muhammad Ali was referring to were diplomats wearing their African clothing. All right. And notice, like, he's even saying, well, they decided, the State Department decided, but but still in your mind, even if that's happening, if that happened, like, who are you blaming it on? One thing I appreciate what I heard from, I think something on Black Liberation Media one time when they were talking about Latino brothers and sisters, right? They were saying that basically, why are you upset even if they were bringing the Latinos to give them the jobs that to give them the jobs? Why are you upset at the Latinos, or why do you have more smoke for the Latinos than you have for the person giving the job away? Why do you have more smoke for, why are you creating this narrative around these Africans who thought they were better? That's what it sounds like if you don't listen closely, who thought they were better because the state, the USA, they decided to create this type of thing. Like, what does that got to do with anything? Like, what I'm saying is they create this picture, a contorted picture, so that you can be angry at the wrong person. Remember on the same video, what he just said. On the video before this, what he said was, dang, I just lost it, y'all. What did Lord Abba say? I lost it. It might come back, but let's play.
Black people from the American freedmen, or the American black, or the American Negro, Afro-American, African-American, etc.
At least he's, look, now he's saying African-American. So again, that lets you know that there is BS, because he even used African-American, Afro-American, all the different freedmen, all that is one. Like, so why you need all these terms? Why do you need to delineate? Because you use the word African-American because you know there's a difference. You know that the world knows who the African-Americans are. So again, you can't even lie good.
Saying freedmen, we're not speaking to an ethnic group, we are speaking to a status. When we add American freedmen to it, we're speaking about a status. Who else said that? Tariq Nasheed just said that, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like a status. Because what he said, I got it back, y'all. He said, you know, because they gonna be 1A and we need to be 1B. Because they want to be the Negroes high on the hog Negroes. They want to be the number one oppressed people. They want to be the creme of the crumb, or how they say it, of the oppressed. They're not worried about overthrowing oppression. They just want to be the house Negroes on the USA plantation. They have concluded that we cannot win this war. So because we can't win this war, we just take 1B instead of 1A. That's what he said in another video. See, this is the guy you want. This is what you want. This is who you want. You think what I'm saying? This is who you want. All right, let's see. Divine God Allah. I think you hold up. Let's see what Divine God Allah is saying. Peace and power, Divine God Allah.
Peace, my brother Doc. How you doing?
I'm doing as they say, blacktastic.
Okay, likewise. You know, I agree with you on your points on FBA, of course. And, you know, I think the leadership of that organization obviously has some type of maybe agenda that may not be so good down on the low, but I think some of the people who follow it may be okay. Like, you know, for instance, like my brother King Supreme over there, he does some good work on his channel, and, you know, and spreading knowledge to our people. especially here in California, and he's in Southern California to be specific. I want to touch on something, your Baltimore brother, Tariq Bey. You know,
hold on, one thing at a time, though. Let's do. What does King Supreme do?
He's an FBA.
I don't know him. I'm just trying to figure out what do you like.
I just think he's a good. I think he's a good. I mean, I don't agree, even though I don't agree with the organization. You know, the FBA. Right. I just think he's trying to, you know, teach brothers to stop with the gangs, stuff, and and he's talking, you know, about some of the things.
Is he FBA
social. Yes.
Does he teach the ideology and the philosophy of FBA?
Yes, but he doesn't do the tether stuff like the way Tariq do, like he don't be bashing Africans on there. I see what you're saying. I'm not. Hey, listen, man, I'm not an FBA.
No, I want to make a clear distinction. I agree with you. I appreciate what you're doing here. So what I want to say is that I agree with you. There are people. I've always said it. I'm not sure how long you've been listening. I think you've been around for a while though. If you recall that, I would say the people are lost. Most of the people that follow these people are confused.
Yeah, he's the new Dr. Pork. Dr. Pork, we know he's like Yakub, new Dr. Pork. I agree with that, brother.
No, I'm not talking about his.
No, I'm talking about
ideology. I'm talking about the FBA.
Yeah, ideology. I know Tariq is like Dr. Pork. I know. I see that. Dr. Pork.
Dr. Pork.
Yeah,
who's that?
You know, the new Nubian guy, the guy.
Like Dr. York. Okay, yeah, people have called him Dr. York. Pork. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
I'm gonna say, you know, in this thing, I don't advocate for gangs or anything like that. I'm against that. I'm more about, you know, the structural organization of brothers coming together to provide, you know, resources for our community and teach the youngsters things towards even like African stuff. You know, I'm more into the Arabic language, Kiswahili, but even African, if it was Yoruba, I'm into that too, teaching kids that type of thing, or African languages. Now, but I think with that being said, there's this thing called a DP where you discipline your own. Okay, can I finish this real quick? The brother Tariq Bey has been, I think he's wrong what he's going on our brother when he's debating the Nation of Islam. So I think brothers in Baltimore, I don't know. I talked to him myself, obviously. I have talked to him. I think these debates are pointless. We don't need to debate each other about these ideologies. We need to come together and figure out how can we teach the babies and teach the youth how to do something positive and constructive. Debating ideologies sometimes is just pointless and leads nowhere. And, you know, I told, you know, and, you know, it goes to the HOK stuff, and stuff is nonsense, you know, and counterproductive.
Did you think that what Dr. Clark was doing was pointless?
I've never paid attention too much to Dr. Clark.
What about Dr. Ben?
I like some of Dr. Ben's works.
Do you think what he was doing was pointless?
I wouldn't say what he was doing was pointless, but I'll say that some of his writings were very good. Dr. Ben's writings, you know, even a lot of the pan-Africans. I'm
talking about as far as his critique, his analysis, and his debates around religion, and history, and all those type of things.
Sometimes when you talk about debating people's ideologies, it takes, like, let the Christians debate the Christians, let the Muslims debate the Muslims, let voodoo people or Jews, let them debate each other, let the Hebrews debate the Jews, let people live in their fantasies. If they're trying to be good people, I don't see no problem in trying to tear people down of their beliefs, man. Let them have their beliefs.
I'm not up on what, let me just be clear on what Brother Tariq Bey is doing as far as the debates on NOI. Like, I'm not really clear on what his purpose is. I do know him. I would not assume that he's just trying to tear people down. Now, it might feel that way, especially when people are debating one's ideology or ideology that they subscribe to. Quite like FBA, right? Do you subscribe to being an FBA?
No, I don't subscribe to that. I'm a 5%. Now, with that, I don't, at my FBA, like I said, Asiatic black man. And yes, I'm not a Muslim, but I respect the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I always give credit to Noble Drew Ali,
but I'm
Marcus Garvey, all of our people who tried to people.
Hold up, Divine. I just asked you a question.
No, I'm not FBA though. No.
Okay, so you're not FBA. Do you think I'm tearing down Black Americans?
No, you're not tearing down FBA or Black Americans. I think you're bringing, but you're not doing a debate thing. You're showing what you're doing is you're showing evidence of something. And this is not even FBA is not really a religion. It's more like some internet group. It's internet group that just came together recently. This is not. It's not the same thing.
I would argue that nothing is beyond being debated if we do it for upliftment.
What do you think is better? If I like say for instance, right? This is just what I do, right? Like, and I'm not saying everybody should do it like me. They could do what they want to do. Of course, we're all grown men here. But what I do is like, say I see a religious person in the street, Jehovah's Witness. What I'm doing is like I see Jehovah's Witnesses a lot. I come up to them and I more so just talk to them about things we can agree upon. And you know, I'm not gonna try to convert you into thinking into the way I think, because you, especially if you're an older person, it's not my duty to do that. You know what I'm saying? I would rather talk to kids.
But you know the problem I had with this argument in general, because you're like other people tell me that I'm debating. You said I'm not. That's because you typically don't have an emotional response to FBA talking points. But what I hear a lot of people tell me is that I'm debating FBA, although you're right. I'm educating, and I might disagree with somebody. Yeah, and some people will call it a debate. But dang, I lost my point. So let me see. So so a lot of people say that I'm debating. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but because I can understand why you would go and clarify things with what's going on with FBA, because he had the leader of that organization was being xenophobic towards our own people from different countries, just because they're from different countries. So that's
people
different.
Have different opinions.
But now that's not let's say
that's my point.
Upliftment organization. That's not a knowledge of self group. That's not a knowledge of self group.
Let me give it to you. People, you're not going to be able, you are serving as one debating the very thing that you said that you don't want to be debated just by saying that we shouldn't debate it. That's how I kind of respond to people when they say that. Two, I don't think anything is beyond debate, and I think there's actual honest critique of all ideologies and debate.
Okay.
All of them, including the one that I subscribe to, whatever one that is. You know, like I don't think like if it's truth or it's false or whatever, because I know that people are going to debate what I'm saying right here, right now, and they will. I can't stop them, and hopefully they do. But at the same time, maybe I'll learn where I was wrong. Maybe I'll learn. Maybe I was right, but maybe they'll lie on me even. But I know I can't stop them. But again, I know Brother Talker Bay. I know he has a strong.
I thought he might be here. That's the only reason I got on here. I thought maybe he might be around because I just came in. So I thought maybe he'd be here and come in or something. Yeah, but no. He's a good brother. I ain't got nothing. It's not nothing. No shot at him. I'm just saying that sometimes we got to cut back on debate. But I get what you're saying though. Sometimes it could be like if you're academic from an academic point of view. I get what you're saying, brother. But that's all I wanted to do. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I see what you're no, I'm not trying to stop. I'm just trying to show a point to where sometimes it's unnecessary though. But peace to you, and I like your show. I'm just sit back and do the knowledge now, brother. Thanks.
Yes,
thanks
sir.
For giving me the platform.
Asante
Sana.
I thought you Caribou. Let me see. All right, family. That was Brother God Divine Allah. You know what I mean? He like, look, Brother T-Bay, he coming for you, T-Bay. He coming for you. You know, he said, man, he said, stop. He said, Brother T-Bay, he said, stop making all that noise, man. You disturbing peace. Look, I'm gonna have to talk to you, brother, later, brother T-Bay, and see what's going on, man. I have checked out some of the debates over there, man. But look, hold up. Let me think about it. I did watch a part of one. I don't know. T-Baby, some interesting people become on his platform, Divine Allies. Sometimes they suspect, man. I don't know what to say. But nonetheless, all right. I thank you for calling up, dear brother. Let's see what we got here. My brother hitting the nail on the head with that one. I don't know what we talking. Is you talking about, brother? Oh God, y'all talking. They debating in the chat board, brother Divine. You didn't start a debate here. All right, so let's get back to the FBAer, the one who says that white people should be 1A and we should be 1B. That's his goal. That's his ultimate goal. You know, on Dr. Mayat's show, he said that. And that nobody else should come here and be positioned above us. Like, when you 1B, you don't have the power to decide, bro. Like, let's keep it real. As long as you're happy with being 1B, you never will be secure in your position in this society. I mean, like, this is who we brought. You dig what I'm saying? This is the scholar that my dear sister brought over there. This brother. You know what I mean? Tahaka, I mean, no, not Tahaka. Tahaka, don't get me, man. Don't get me. Lord Abba, aka Naheem Ali. This is who they brought to explain, and he said he wasn't going to be xenophobic, and he showed how well and how much xenophobia he possesses. All right, y'all.
That class of individuals who were emancipated in this country and their descendants into a status. When we had American pens so that they can be identified as distinct black people from the American freedmen or the American black or the American Negro, Afro-American, African-American, etc. When we're saying freedmen, we're not speaking to an ethnic group, we are speaking to a status. When we add American freedmen to it, we're speaking to that class of individuals who were emancipated in this country and
that class of individuals that have been emancipated. Look, brother, Lord Abba Babel. I mean, stop. I mean, yo, that's like some street, as Brother Tahaka Bay does speak to, and see the thing I like. Why, if we getting back to what you said about Tahaka Bay debates the Moors, and this is one of the ones he debates. This guy, because he spent what Tahaka Bay calls pseudo Moor science. This is what we got. This is what he's spewing right here before us. Pseudo Moor science. That's what he spewed on Dr. Mayat's show. He came with some data, some facts, and then his Moorish. Oh, I'm sorry, no longer Moorish. Even on the show, he said something about, you know what, we gotta give respect to Noble. His idea of what Noble Dryly meant. I think that Tahaka Bay should probably debate him. I know he'll wash him too. You know what I mean? So let's get it.
descendants. Umar's
this guy's challenging Umar, by the way. It's just some people that can beat you when they're wrong. You know what I mean? Umar would beat the brakes off of him even if he was wrong. You dig? Like
that white people would receive, millions of white people would receive reparations is frivolous. He has no proof. He has no way.
Now Umar was kicking some pseudo stuff too. Lord Abba got Umar in that. You know what I mean? Like they all like Umar is the one. He's the Achilles heel or whatever they call it. He's the weak link in what we call pan-Africanism, because this is the look. They go for him because he says the most outrageous things. Most of us, including Dr. Mayat and Kaba, we seem a little settled to some degree. Like we have some type of structure, like we have something. That's why I'm saying I would never do a video and say, I would say, yeah, hold Umar accountable. But I know he's not gonna let nobody hold him accountable. You dig what I'm saying? It ain't gonna happen. But I am saying hold everybody else accountable. I mean, I don't know if you can hold Kaba accountable. I mean, I don't know what's up with Kaba. I just don't believe him. Like he has this lady named Braxton, or what's her name? Bria, like I don't know. These people are, the thoughts and the things they say, including some of my old homies. Like I'm like, where y'all getting this stuff from? Like y'all really have taken on this FBA identity with these type of people. They on panels with these people
to give proof. And what he's doing is he's keeping that donation pool coming, because if you listen to,
he talking about Umar's keeping a donation pool coming. I'm assuming, like I said earlier, like I don't know why, honestly, some of these people are still working when rocking with Tariq Nasheed. I can only assume, but I assume that this is why Lord Abba does it. I would assume he's calling, he's talking about Umar in a way that really reflects back on him. That would be my guesstimation. I could be wrong.
Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar shares the same sentiment as Atasha K. And that is, well, we're going to dump on black men. Go just listen to him. He blames everything on black men that did not experience a white league, and they're shaking.
All right, I'm gonna move past that one, y'all. And then, but finally, well, I'm gonna conclude with this next video. I can't even remember what it actually says. I don't even know if this was the video that I initially looked at, but I'm gonna conclude with this next video. But I'm also gonna put the link in the chat for those who might want to come before I get out of here. I'm gonna conclude with this next video. Make sure you thumb up this video, you like this video. Make sure we hold each other accountable, family. Especially those of us that are riding the fence. There's nothing wrong with riding the fence. I mean, it is something wrong with riding the fence. What I'm saying is, we all need some nudging at times. That's what I'm really trying to say is, like, we all need someone to come and chit chat and say, put something in our ear. So what I'm asking for us to do is nothing different than what I think we should do in our community in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think this is what we ought to do. This is what we should do. All right, so let's go to this next guy, Divine Prince. Oh, okay, I was gonna put it in the chat. Let me put it one more time. I think the link is there, but I'll put it there again. All right, so let's go to this particular video with this guy, Divine Prince, being interviewed by this guy named Bandana Blake. This is a clip from a larger video that I think was sent to me. But this guy, Divine, is very interesting. He's probably better versed than a lot of people I've seen and heard in some ways with the trickery. I mean, I don't know. I think he's one of Kaba's students as well, with that girl Brooke or something. Yeah, Brooke and Divine and some other people that I know. Like, yo, what's going on? What's really good? I have no idea, but let's get with it.
Dr. Umar. Recently, Dr. Umar had this to say on an interview. I'm going to play this, and then I would love to get your reaction to it once we're done here. Let's see what Dr. Umar has to say here.
So my movement to counteract the negativity of these movements we're discussing is going to be the Dafa movement.
All right. So again, Dr. Umar with his fraudulent movement. Look, he had to get some. He had to get on some. You know what I mean? All these internet personalities, internet scholars, he had to get in on some. So he had to make his Dafa movement. You know what I mean? Look, Umar ain't no better. Look, they jumped from one identity category. You look, Umar said he's gonna open up a Ethiopian church in the school. You know what I mean? He look, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Look, they not loyal to nobody. I said they're not loyal to these bros. They're not loyal to the bros.
DAFA, descendants of African freedmen in America. Remember, Loom.
Freedmen in America.
After freedom came, we were known as what? Freedmen. That was a legal class.
Listen to him, the brother like, yeah, whatever he said. I have no idea what he's saying, but all right, bro. Umar said it.
Classification. We were the freedmen. My 3 times great-grandfather George fought in the Civil War. My 4 times great-grandfather Steve fought in the Civil War.
So what's on? Look, see them charlatans, boy, they know how to add stuff to pull your heartstrings. My 4-time and they start throwing numbers in there. They don't, the numbers don't even gotta be right, to be honest with you. Just they know that if they throw numbers out there, it makes you feel like they're more intelligent than they truly are. You become impressed by what they said. You know, your radar should go up when people start doing these type of things, and they do it quickly and with repetition.
My cousins Lewis and Charles, the sons of Frederick Douglass, fought in the Civil War. I'm a descendant of freedmen who fought.
He knows throwing all those names. Then it sounds like he's intellectual, although he's naming somewhat of a family tree. It sounds like he's going through this serious history. You know, whether it's real or not, it doesn't matter. If it's real, he's using it against you. He's playing neuro-linguistic programming. If it's not real, he's doing the same thing.
To keep this country from being divided. And we have rights as freedmen, so we're fighting as descendants of.
So again, they creaking. Look, the struggle with this video is I'm assessing Umar here, but really I'm trying to get to Divine Prince. Look, it's like, man, it's just bad when you got one person that you got 2 people you got critique everybody on the video, even the person they critiquing. This is called a double critique, a double analysis. Ah, man, it's bad. I should have. I don't know if this was the right clip.
African, not no American. You ain't never putting that in no title, no organization of mine. Descendants of African freedmen in America.
With that,
so the brother, I think he might say it. Let him say it.
Said, what are your thoughts on DAFA, pan-Africanism, as we touched on earlier, and ADOS?
Oh, man. I'm a descendant of DAFA. Listen. So I did a video on this.
So the brother, I don't know if I'm gonna get through this whole video, but I'm gonna say it. If he says it again, that's fine. But one of the things the brother Divine says here, he's still a brother. He says that Umar said that he's not going to use the word American in the title of his organization, but the last word in DAFA is American.
This plug. My name is Black American Proverb on TikTok. And so on TikTok, I actually clipped that up. And
see, again, this that Black American. See, they also co-opting the word Black American, which is crazy. Like if you're going to co-opt something, co-opt African American, because people know what that's a different. Black American is every black. Look, I think Prince even tells you that here. I think he gives you a little bit more factual information to some degree, but still the way that you manipulate it, misconstrue it, and also, I mean, it's not all factual.
And then debunked it right after. And it's only a 2-minute video. It didn't even need to go long because it don't have to go long, right? And so I'm not going to take long here with debunking that, and I'll get to the rest of the conversation. So here's a couple things with.
So again, the point of this video is that Prince is another one of the freedmen. He's a freedman leader. He's another freedman leader. He's the leader or the president of the New York Freedmen Project. Y'all seen him around in some of these hearings or what have you, and he's one of the people that comes up in these hearings talking about reparations.
Dr. Umar loses himself. One, like I said, by 1850, we were already multi-generational Black Americans. So by the time 1865 gets around, 1863 and 65, when we become emancipated, we're not African anymore. Here's the definition of African.
So we're not African no more. Boy, he said that with full chest. But again, keep in mind, my point here is that FBA and Freedmen are the same. Tariq said it. Who else said it? I think this brother says it. I'm not sure if Lord Abba said it on that particular video. What I wanted to show you with Lord Abba is that freedmen are xenophobic, although he's acting like he's not. This brother's going to do the same thing. The Freedmen try to be tricky too. Hold on.
African, a native or inhabitant of the continent of Africa. That's all an African is. African isn't race. African isn't a tribe. African isn't an ethnic group. All an African is.
So again, these same people, what they're telling you is socially, politically, you have to go by the definition of your oppressor. That's why I'm saying all terms are political. So again, as Lord Abba says that they only want to be 1B. Freedmen are not worried about being 1A. They're not worried about African sovereignty. They're not worried about self-defining. So as long as Webster says it, or as long as the rules in the US says it, then that's what we are. As long as that's what white people say it is, that's how white people define it. That's how. So in other words, they are not into self-definition.
It's the same thing if somebody says, "Oh, you're a North American."
I heard somebody say earlier, and it was a powerful clip, by the way. You know what? It was a powerful clip, and it was Neil deGrasse Tyson, somebody that I would study, not these people. He says when you hear an Italian multiple generations say that they're no longer they'll just say they're Italian. They could have been living here, not to say they won't say Italian American, but they still have some connection to their land. It could have been generations ago. But this guy, they want us to, you know, just get rid of African altogether.
Or you're a Central American. That just means you live or a native of that part of the continent. That's all an African is. Because there is no universal identity or culture for all Africans that they all identify with in practice. Why? Because there are 50 plus countries and thousands of different tribes.
Now, what is that? I mean, okay, he's setting the stage, but I mean, everybody doesn't have to be called like this has to be like, what does that have to do with anything? Let me just say that. Like, what is he setting up?
With thousands of different cultures and ideologies that do not work with each other or view each other.
I mean, that's like Europeans too. You know what I mean? Like, what are you saying? Like, they still are they are still Europeans though. They're still Europeans. Like, they're still Asians. You know, they're like tribes. Like, why are you highlighting anything, something that is no different than where you find across the globe? But they're still Asians. Why do you like white people don't leave Europe and still aren't of European descent?
Brothers and sisters on the continent. So that could never be a unifying term because it's not even working for them. That's one. Two, the only way someone would have been an African freedman is if when the first Africans came over, then they were emancipated. That would be an African freedman, right? Or the closest thing to it.
Yes.
Because they still will be technically an American, but at that time, if they just came over, they were emancipated, I could rock with them if you want to call those people African freedmen. So, but here's the thing. Here's another thing that he said that's so laughable. He said, nah. African freedmen. You're not gonna put no American in the title of any.
Again, he's responding to Umar Johnson again. I'm multitasking here, family. So please talk in the chat. Y'all do the analysis because I might be missing some pieces, but I'm trying to pull something else up while I do it. But go ahead, let's talk.
Position I got, so it's gonna be descendants of African freedmen in America. Like, bro, you just don't want no American in your name, but the second A is American. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so he definitely that's the point I was talking about. He did the Umar be doing so much, so fast. You know what I mean? Umar be doing too much, y'all, and Umar is not a representative again for Pan-African community. Yo, he's like most people in the like they use Umar as someone they can make mockery of, but we make mockery of Umar at this point. We know he a fraud, but y'all can't say Tariq Nasheed a fraud. Y'all can't tell the truth. I mean, because questionably that the questionable part is, I mean, a lot of y'all probably are in bed with him, and I mean, some of as Divine Allah said, some people are just lost. But again, lost people are dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I could, to some degree, Dr. Maya could be lost. I'm not sure. But she be saying other things. You know what I mean? Like she not. But she didn't, like, she rides the fence. Kaba, I mean, I don't know. Kaba might be really lost, brothers and sisters. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't even put my hand on it, but Kaba might literally be lost. I don't know. You know, I have no idea. All right, let's do it.
So, but this is the issue I have. All jokes aside, with pan-Africanism, right?
Yeah.
Is that,
see, again, that's what I keep trying to tell people. I've been telling people for the longest point in time, like, we're saying, well, look what they saying. Like I told Brother Diallo, I said they anti-pan-Africanists. He gonna say he's not, but they are anti-pan-Africanists. See, he got hip to the game that people like me say, no. They're not just anti-immigrant, they anti-movement. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not a part of the whole. I don't know. I don't know this guy. You know, it's just, you know, a conceptualization.
it is delusional and it's devoid of all logic. That's why I call it a religion.
So Pan-Africanism is delusional and void of all logic. Kind of like Lord Abba says, he's not really xenophobic. This is another Freedman. So again, you know, these are the people that Dr. Maya platforming, Freedman. And these are the things they saying, you know. I mean, I get it. Like, they're going to try to use this workaround. Well, Freedman is we all are Freedmen, or, you know, like Tariq Nasheed. No. This Freedman stuff in your organization, you have created organizations. These aren't the Freedmens, the people that were set free or they fought for their freedom. No. These are new identity categories with the political agenda to separate and also obtain second place position, permanent second place position in the United States. Yeah, you worked hard for that. You worked hard from your ideas, and I get it. From your perspective, you work very hard for that second place, and you're not about to let no Africans. You're not about to let no Caribbeans. You're not about to let any black UKians. Is that how they say it, y'all? You know, so you're not about to let them come in and take your second place position. You're just not going to do that. Pan-Africanism, as Brother Shaver says here, yes, he did say it's a religion. And I mean, if he's saying it's an ideology, I get it. I mean, I wouldn't even contest that. I mean, it's not, but he's saying religion. But the reality is, FBA is look, I'll take the Pan-African religion over the FBA religion. I'll take the Pan-African religion over the ADOS religion. Because those are about second place. You know what I mean? So if you want to call it religion, a political ideology, if you want to call it that, I won't, whatever, I'll take the Pan-African religion over this second place religion. I'm not agreeing with his usage. I'm not saying there's not even people who are out of their goddamn minds within some of these Pan-African spaces. I mean, we got people out of their mind everywhere. The difference, again, between Pan-Africanism or even African-centered ideas and thought, that they do have branches and people of kind of where it's devolved and all that type of thing. But the reality is, it's a strong foundation, right? It has good intention. FBA doesn't have good intention. So you're building on something that is bad, divisive. Pan-Africanism, we got things to work out. We can fight, but we can even say that, look, I don't agree with Nkrumah. When we don't talk about religion, you dare not say you disagree with Tariq Nasheed. You can't do it. It's against the law. It's against all the rules. It's a cult. It's a mind control cult. Now, every place has its culture, even Pan-Africanism, African-centered, there's cultures. But FBA in its entirety, FBA in its entirety is a toxic cult. You might find somebody who might go and create a fake little group over here and use Pan-Africanism like they use anything else. But Pan-Africanism at its core is not that. But FBA at its core is a cult. Not just, I mean, look, a destructive cult. You dig what I'm saying? So, you know, some of these Kaba's people, let's see what happened. Let's see what Mr. K. Mr. K, I got you this time, man. Look, thank you always. Thank you for your, you know, other day I couldn't get it in, but yeah, Mr. K, thanks for the super chat from the UK. Would Divine call Black nationalism a religion? Do I think Divine would call Black nationalism? He might think that he is a Black nationalist. So he kind of, I don't know what he would say. Because some people really think that that's their version of Black nationalism. They talking about their nation, the USA. They're not talking about the African nationalism. They're not talking about Pan-African nationalism. We gotta keep that. We gotta keep it a buck. Some people, that nationalism is to their red, black, their red, white, their what is it, red, white, and blue? Yeah, that's what that's their nationalistic agenda. That's what that's who they are beholden to. You know what I mean? So again, whatever it is, you dig what I'm saying? I would rather take the Pan-African version over the FBA version, the new Freedman. Let's call them new Freedmen. See, they try to play these games with you. They are look. I don't trust most of these people who are on the internet talking this FBA stuff. You might find one is lost, but they're jockeying for position. They're jockeying for a lot of people. They even want to be in Hidden Colors. They do, believe me, they want to. See, again, as I started earlier today, I'm a little frustrated. I'm a little tired of Tariq Nasheed being the Wizard of Oz. Everybody's acting like he's not doing what he's doing. Not everybody, but you got what I'm saying. These people are working around and like even those who espouse Pan-Africanism and Black nationalism and African-centered thought. Like, no, the Wizard of Oz controlling and pulling all the strings. Like the Wizard of Oz leader who say he's not the leader. Nobody know who the leader is. No one who's pulling all the gears. And maybe he's just the face of the one others who are pulling the gears. Nonetheless, he is a part of it. Yeah. FBA, the Wizard of Oz. Who's FBA's wizard? You know what I mean? Well, you know, this person says you're too obsessed with Tariq. Maybe focus on someone else for a week. Have you looked at my other videos? Didn't I always tell you like people, like, I don't know, that's probably a bot. You know, they always got the weirdest type of thumbnails. Say Franny. Say Franny, or what is it? Safrani? Go and look at my video the other day with Tendea family, Chairman Elijah. Go and look at my video with Dr. Jared Ball. Go and look at my video with Bob Imhotep Fatiu. I mean, these are just 2 videos I did this week. And also go and look at my video I talked about Cheyenne Bryan if you want to get with that one. In fact, I'm not even talking about Tariq Nasheed in this video. He's a part of the narrative. But what I'm really talking about is Freedman. Are you a freedman? You know, that's your position. You were freed. Not a person who fought and won, but you were freed. So I think my thing is messing up, y'all. It's like that sound like Dr. Umar. I remember years ago, Dr. Umar had the and why are you only talking about I got all these other names and you worried about Umar. I mean about Tariq. I said so many other names. Why are you only coming at me about Tariq? So Umar was in his house and he said he had his phone up and then it flipped to the other side. And he said, oh, the thing. Because it started showing the messy house that he was in. And then he wanted to use that, y'all don't need to see that. Y'all, like, he instantly jumped into his defense mode where he wanted to blame him. Y'all don't need to see that. It was crazy. Umar is crazy, boy. I'm telling you, these internet cult leaders, Umar Johnson, Safrani, let's talk about Umar. I talked about Umar. Why didn't you come up here about me talking about Umar? I'm not really talking about Tariq Nasheed per se. I'm talking about frauds. He just happened to be one. Yeah. So, okay, cool. So, yeah, the thumbnail can say whatever. It's to get you in here. It's to get you in here. It's not about Tariq Nasheed. But if Tariq Nasheed is the algorithm catch to give people better information, I will do it. I'm from Trinity. What does that mean? That doesn't matter. Oh, look. There's the thumbnails to Tariq. No, my bad. Okay. Maybe you're being genuine when you say my bad. Okay, we're talking about a lot. You like Umar, okay? So pandering like FBA as well? Then no, it's not pandering. What do you call pandering? That's called propaganda. Pandering is if you're trying to appease someone's emotions through these inauthentic type of acts. That's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to give you real information. Am I using propaganda? Absolutely. But what I'm saying here right now has nothing to do. It's true. It's real. And yes, Tariq Nasheed happens to be a part of it. You know what I mean? He happens to be a part of it. Just like Tariq. I don't know if you're a Tariq fan, but if you're a Tariq fan, then what happens is, or maybe you're an Umar fan, whatever it is. But if you're a Tariq fan, you would go over there and you should go over there and tell him, stop talking about African people, global African people, including those in Trinidad. And I would shut up. But as long as he continues to do that, I'm going to continue to talk about him. I'm sorry. But he's not the only thing I talk about. I have many videos. Just go and watch them. You're just interested in this one. But anyway, I appreciate you coming in anyway. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you like the video. Yeah. And keep talking and leave some comments afterwards. And, keep us in the algorithm. I appreciate for your duty today. Let's see. You say a lot of us look down on FBA, so I understand them being upset. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Well, I get why Africans are upset at us calling them monkeys. I get why people from Trinidad get upset because we think they African and we think they like what I'm saying is, so like I get it, but it's all of us being played against each other. They see people from Trinidad, depending on if you look like a coolie or you look like a lot of people didn't even know the difference between Africans and Jamaicans. They just thought everybody was African at one time. We have been fed poison about our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, just as you all were fed things about us. But I do understand it. I do. It's very clear. But the research also supports something different. So yeah, and I don't know if Safrani is real, but you know how Tariq Nasheed, what he does, he has, you can tell when he gets the actors to call in and be African and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if Safrani is for real. Y'all continue to converse with Safrani, and y'all let me know what y'all think. All right, let's get back to it.
Religion is based on faith. Religion is just based on whatever you decide to believe. And so if you believe in it and have faith in that belief, then it becomes true for you and others that identify with that ideology or religion. And that's all Pan-Africanism is, because it's always been a theory. Because unity based on Africanness has never been.
So a theory is now a religion. Poor, uninformed intellects. There's a theory that if you delineate, that you won't get reparations. There's a theory that like everything, like your whole identity in your approach to the way that you believe is going to bring about social change, Divine, is a theory. Not a very well developed one, but a theory nonetheless. You know what I mean? Not on the level of a theory like Pan-Africanism, but a loose, whack, weak, all over the place theory that has no power, and is in the realm of pseudo more science, pseudo Hebrewism. If you really want to talk about which one is like what is a religion, we would have to say FBA, and your God is Tariq Nasheed. We would have to say his disciples is Divine Prince. Maybe he might be the Judas. I don't know. So if we really had to talk about these things, and like when we talk about these religious ideas where nobody can say anything about Tariq Nasheed, who's a part of the cult, negative. Like a brother who used to come on here, forgot, from the West Coast, Golden State, I think his name was, challenged a few callers and even myself to ask them, what do they not agree with Tariq Nasheed about? And the thing was, the brother who used to come on here, what's his name, y'all? What's his name? James Harlem. James Harlem said he don't agree with everything about Tariq, but then when I asked him what one thing is that he doesn't, he could not give you one thing. And then I tried it again several times, and Golden State was actually right. Now, yeah, Golden State was actually right. I haven't met one yet. I'm not saying there's not one FBA, but there's so many of them that cannot pick out one thing that they disagree with Tariq Nasheed. He says so much wrong. Like, not even the data. They struggle with telling you whether or not, they struggle with this idea of even talking about his behaviors. Like even if I agree with, let's say I agree with something Umar says, I can disagree with his behaviors because he has many toxic behaviors. You know what I mean? So if we want to talk about which one is religion, which one is a mind control cult, yeah, FBA, Freedman, and the like are really bad cults. Bad cults.
The thing. No. Long before the white man ever touched base on that continent, they were enslaving, raping, brutalizing.
He doing a lot of, like they gotta make the bad pitch of Africans, right? They're not even talking about Africa. Oh, they didn't talk about the Africans that fought back. They don't talk about the Africans that fought back. They don't talk about the things with complexity and nuance. They don't talk about the struggles and the wars and those who are protecting and fighting against slave raids, captures or raids or whatever they want to call it. They don't talk about that. This is what they talk about.
Enslaving and enslaving some more, and they still enslave each other today.
And they still enslaving each other today.
This idea that we can have pan-African unity around the idea of being African when Africans have never united based on being African, what are we really talking about?
What do you mean Africans are not united on the idea of being African? Like, what does that mean? You want us to be Africans when Africans are not united on the idea of being Africans. I mean, I don't hear too many Africans fighting about the idea, the ethnonym, or whatever you want to call it, African. They might identify in other ways as well. But what is this guy really talking about? These are your smart people. These are your scholars. These are your scholars. And realize these people get a lot more views than those doctors of education that I was speaking about earlier. But we coming around the mountain, fam. We coming around the mountain. I don't even know what to expect from this video. This is a surprise, just like you. You know, this is a surprise for me as well. Brother Mr. K says Divine is stereotyping Africa more than the races. Real talk, real talk. I mean, or at least equivalent, or to a similar degree. Because again, FBA is a racist ideology and blackface. Real talk. And again, we got pan-Africanists on the fence. But I'm not supposed to say nothing. You bigging up people who create these type of things. And I'm not supposed to say anything. You get to create content bringing Lord Abba saying xenophobic things with no challenge. You get to create content. You get to be Kaaba and go around and look like you're a star and kick all types of pseudo information. And I'm not supposed to say anything. Like, again, I mean, like, there's a cast of charlatans going on. Sherazade Ali. I mean, I like some of the things she say sometimes because she say everything. So you'll like sometimes what she say, but there's so much that she says. She doesn't really hold tight on one thing. She doesn't have any position either. I mean, whatever is in season. I would argue that Dr. Mayat is very similar. And we can talk about that. We can debate that. We can discuss that as academics. Whatever the way the wind blows, here come I. But if you get in the way of if you challenge me, though I can challenge everybody else, then I'm going to come for you hard. But if you know, go and look up how many people she responds to. She responds to so many people, responds, and it supposes this word response. I said a response to Dr. Mayat and Dr. Wright. And actually, in the actual title, I said a respectful response. But these type of guys get to stay in your circle. Lord Abba, Tariq Nasheed, people who've been fraudulent all over the internet. These are the people that you bring. No standards. I think I was one of the few that, she brings some good people too, but she has there's no discrimination for the most part if it serves her aim. I get it. I'm telling you. I mean, I know. And that's to be popular.
We're talking about an idea that would be nice in theory. I would love to see global unity based on melanin. Yeah. I would love it, right? Because when it comes to disparaging us and putting us on the system, a racial caste system globally, as we saw with the BAFTAs.
I would love it. You hear that? He playing the game with y'all. I would love it, but that ain't gonna ever happen. But what's going to happen is me and this mystical reparations that I'm going to get if we just change our name.
Oh, every white person around the world got on code to become experts in Tourette's to justify that N-word, right?
So every white person in the world came together to justify the N-word. Like, is that really what happened? You see the level of pseudo scholarship, man. Look at the brother's face, the other brother. He just eating it up. He eating it up. This brother kind of remind me of Kaba a little bit. I can't lie. I mean, he remind me. I think he is one of Kaba's students. I mean, or at least he's affiliated with some of Kaba's students. I know that Sister Brooke, and she's out of her mind. She said she's Kaba's student, and Kaba talks about it like that girl's out of her mind.
Yeah.
And so it will be great to have a unifying force based on melanin to combat that. What we've seen, though, is that throughout the history of history, that has never been the case with those on the continent. The closest thing you have of people using a singular identity to unify across all different.
A singular identity. I'm gonna have to look this up. I don't know that Africans as a whole are not really taking on the word African. I mean, I know they take on their local and their ethnic names and all of that, but at least when they get here, they identify as African. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how much of a problem that is. I might have to do the research on that one. I assume that that's not totally correct, though.
Geographical differences in the culture,
and then the fact to say that the weak examples to white people, like, they're ridiculous. All white people in the world got on code to come over to support this guy using the N-word about Tourette's. Like, really? Did all white people come together? Is that really what happened? Like, that's the worst type of lesson. Like, what the heck is he talking about? Like, family, make sure you thumb up, you hype this video. Make sure you share it. You know what I mean? But did everybody, did all the white people come together to do that? He's saying that there's a Pan-African religion and it's a fantasy. But he's creating more. He has an FBA fantasy that's really, really fanciful.
And tribal differences in the culture are foundational Black Americans.
So he speaks so positive about white people. They all came together. They came together for the N-word. Every last white person, child, man, and their dogs. But these Black people, they never come together. No, Europeans have never they all accept European terminology in the word and all this and all. Like, come on, bro. They never have any disagreements or squabbles or differences or anything like that. Oh yeah, this shirt right here is Race First. This is the Race First shirt that the group PLM and put together as far as Bob and Imhotep and the rallies. I mean, they were doing rallies and they were also doing let's say now they have the conventions as well that's happening that I've taken part in. So yeah, I'm certain you can get it from PLM. Look up Pan-African Liberation Movement here in Baltimore. I'm certain that they might have some available, as well as yes, as well as we're gonna have the dear Baba Imhotep back on pretty soon, speaking to some topics. Tyranny, I think that was the name of the person earlier. You know, go look some of that up. But yeah, check that. Yeah, go check out some of those videos. But I forgot where I was going before I said that. But yeah, this make-believe world of FBA.
Because we came from multiple different tribes, we have miniature subsets of culture and different.
You see, again, everything's so negative when it comes to the African side of it, right? It might give you one good thing, maybe to kind of say, I did say something good. I don't know. Let's listen.
Different regions, but because we have family and because of the migration patterns of this country, and all of us are related to a certain degree, we never looked at each region as a totally.
Oh, now he's saying the FBA is the best version of Pan-Africanism. But it's FBAism. You know what I mean? Like, because we come from multiple different tribes in these different states and different lines of demarcation and all that type of thing, and we are the best example. Like, there's like not total countries that do work together with okay, I don't. I mean, like there's no differences here. Even like he considers himself an FBA. I would never take the FBA unless something majorly happened. I would never consider myself a Hebrew Israelite unless something majorly happened. Like something would have to really happen. Like God would have to come down and sit on my lap or something. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. Look, yeah, I'm not going to do it. But nonetheless, like something would have to really happen, like for me to, you know, do that, like to lose my faculties to that degree, to call myself an FBA or, you know, I mean, as I historically understand Freedman, but this Freedman that we're speaking to is something totally different. This is the usurpation of Freedman, the manipulation of the term and into what end and aim and all that. Doc, we're biologically Pan-African. Yeah, I get that. I don't know how anyone could turn against it. A peace to Revolution TV 16 family. Make sure you go over there and check out the video. He interviewed me. I appreciated the talk with him, actually. It was pretty good. Go check it out. Make sure you subscribe to his station, Revolution TV 16. Go check out. He gets some pretty good work. I'm trying to figure out Cuban something. I can't remember the name. Cuban something. So yeah, 100% Lord of Slaughter. Carrie says, "What's up, Carrie? What's up? What's happening, man?" All right, so let's get through this video, family. Let's see what we got. What we looking like on time?
Different region that was a separate ethnic group than us. And so we're the closest thing that you have to people saying, let's just create a universal identity and combat this thing they call it white. So it don't matter if you go.
So we're the closest thing we have, but Lord Abba said, all we want is second place. So second place, I don't know if we combating too much. That's his Freedman brother. They just Freedman, and they big each other up all the time. I mean, they on platforms together. The Freedman clique. They got all these different versions of Freedman. You know what I mean? So hold on, y'all. I got working in multiple pieces here.
Lageechee Creole from New York, from South Carolina, from Georgia, Alabama, West Coast. Yo, we got to come up against white folks. And what we created was black folks.
Ain't he like Junior Kaba? I think he like a Junior Kaba. I ain't gonna lie.
Wow, I never looked at it like that. Yeah.
And then everybody else that came over to the country just adopted and
so he putting that magic on his family. That brother's like, wow, I never looked at it like that. We are connecting. Look, we can't even agree on what hip hop is better. Yo, you know, your main man, your family from up north, trying to make y'all country down south and vice versa. Y'all some this and that. These Bamas and, you know, my DC family, everybody a Bama. You know, we fight about every damn thing. I'm not saying we don't love each other within it, just like all family fight, as Tariq said, including our African and Caribbean and UKing. UKing. I don't know, y'all gotta give me the right word for that, y'all. Okay. All right, let's do
it. The black identity that we created. Because when you go back to
the black identity that we created, I mean, I think that look, somebody looked that up. I don't think I know historically I don't recall what I've concluded about that. That just doesn't sound, I don't know. Look, the one we created. Okay.
Homelands, and I challenge anybody to challenge me on this. Find an ethnic group around the world, an Afro.
Hold on, now listen to this BS. Oh my God, I'm glad I got this far in it. It's going to show you how crazy, like it's already been crazy enough. But this is Freedman. This is Freedman, the best they got. I'm going to tell you, this Freedman are the best they got. And they still whack. Listen to Freedman. Listen to this guy. Listen to him. Listen to this craziness, y'all.
Ethnic group that identifies as black in their homeland instead of their tribe or the.
So he says, if you find, I challenge you to go and find anyone in their homeland outside of the U.S. that identifies as black. Come on, y'all. Did he really do that? See, this is the type of manipulation. This is when I can't, like, either you kind of your intellect is not intellecting, or you just a major grifter. Because some people know that if they say I challenge you, you just believe them and don't do any challenging. See, this the look. My brother Ted was on the panel, like, yeah, we're gonna get. And I love Ted, but brother Ted brought him up on one of his shows, like, yeah, Divine put down the science. You know what I'm saying? And Divine is like their best. So Divine is putting a challenge out. I don't know how much did he put money out. Y'all tell me. Did he say, like, I'll I don't know if he's offered up a wage. But yeah, Divine is off with this, bro. Yeah, he bugging.
Country of origin, you will not find it. So this idea that they're like, no, we know we're black. That's why we don't have to say it. No, you don't know you're black, because black is a universal identity that you come together under and get on code to fight against white folks. Y'all not doing that nowhere else in the world.
They ain't doing that nowhere. Not one place in the world. Not one place in the world outside of the U.S. do people. Now we know that there's differences and even language differences that also mean black, though, nonetheless. Like, but and not that everybody has to agree with that term if they never heard of it or seen it used like that. But I'm just saying, though, like that. Yeah, you don't have to even. It doesn't even have to be the real case, though. Like, what is he really proving, though? What, like, I'm thinking about it right now. What is he really saying? What is the relevance of this other than division? He talked about the Europeans doing so great. These are the freedmen. You know, Dr. Mott's a freedman. Unc said, no, I ain't a freedman. Unc said, oh, I mean, sometime maybe if we need to, you know, to kind of like, maybe if we had to. But nah, I ain't no freedman. You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe my dear sister's no longer that. But I'm just wondering what's going on. What's really good? So, yeah, I mean, Kaba's a freedman, and he keep putting up that pan-Africanism or parish, but we know, man, Kaba playing games with your mind. My teacher said pan-Africanism or parish. He ain't pan-African in nothing. He is... He ain't doing nothing. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, I brought Kaba to Baltimore. Look, don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? Mr. K says FBA grandiosity babble. You know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. I mean, look, I always thought Kaba was a little off. I'm not, look, and Kaba says some things like, I'll just be real honest. Like, he does say some things when it comes to like morals and values and things like that I really dig. Like, I think he, you know, I don't know whether or not he, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know his political position or whether or not he's actually acting these out in his own life. Part of me, I mean, the way that he responded to me when I challenged this notion, this notion that Tariq Nasheed is like Malcolm X. Like they compare him and Baba Small, compared them, and I knew Baba Small again could handle it. Now, as an elder, I thought that Kaba, I don't know if I thought Kaba could handle it. I knew Baba Small could. I can't remember if I thought that Kaba could. But at the end of the day, it didn't really matter to me. I mean, because if you out here and you're above any level of critique and you out here all snitting and grinning and letting Tariq Nasheed use you, somebody got to bring you some tension. I mean, it can't be easy the whole way. Somebody got, look, the FBA's give me all types of tension. Somebody got to bring you some tension. Like, nope, nobody's giving these fence riding pan-Africanists any tension. Somebody got to pull you to some level of clarity, and you could be wrong. But stand on your position. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But please stand on your position versus acting like a fool or cutting me off or doing all this type of thing. Like, stand on the position. It's not the worst thing that ever happened to you. I didn't call you out of your name. I didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't do that. Maybe you're not really, what I really think is that you don't want to have to say anything. Because if you were to say something, like Dr. Maya, for real, I don't think she wants to have to be pushed to say anything. Because she wants to be able to ride and straddle the fence. Because that gives her access to so many different worlds, you know, for different reasons, different modes of whatever. Mr. Shavers, I don't review. I mean, he's not a scholar. He's a pseudoscientist. I'm talking about Kaba. Yes. So Mr. Shaver said, I do not view Kaba as a scholar. Nah, he's not really a scholar, but he is a, you talking about, I never really thought Kaba, you know, because Kaba been around a long time. You know, I've known him since Booker T. Coleman days. I never been all on the melanin thing. I just be honest with you. A lot of our elders, you know, did a lot of good work that wasn't necessarily accurate, like we all would do. You know what I mean? Myself, other people, like it will be for someone to come behind us, as often speak about. Was real scholars don't get mad when you challenge their work. That scholarship is about, okay, support it. Like, come on, like, how do you support that? They know if they give you the thing to say, well, go out there and do your own research. When you go out there and do your own research, guess what? When you come back and say, oh, this ain't what I found, then that's what Kaba did to me. He said, go out and do your own research. I said, this ain't right, Kaba. This ain't right. This ain't right. And now, oh, well, I never said, like, come on, man. Look, y'all be faking. When somebody say go out and do your own research, look, if I'm wrong, family, come back, bring it to me. I could be wrong. I'm not above being wrong. In fact, I don't want to be wrong. I wanted the most accurate information to be out there, because I'm doing this from a pure place. Now, I would like to be right, but the reality is I'm not going to always be right. And again, my point here is to show you that the Freedmen and FBA are the same thing. Don't let them play games on you. Their leader said it. This guy says it at some point. I mean, so again, as has been said in this argument, this debate,
I'm rolling with Freedman in specific cases, right? If need be.
That's what I said. I said that on the phone. I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with Freedman.
I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
I'm rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman.
No, I'm not rolling with Freedman. I'm rolling with Freedman in specific cases, right? If need be.
That's what I said. I said that on the phone.
So yeah, I want to know if there's any adjustment that went down since then, since I and other people have been out here showing how Tariq Nasheed is a fraud. FBA is a identity category with ideology that is counter pan-Africanist, and we all know that Tariq Nasheed does things that are just outrageous and disrespectful to women, men, children, people from all ethnic groups that are Black mostly. And he has a different grift every 3 years. Lotus Slaughter said, thanks for the super chat, Lotus Slaughter. FBA are going to get people in a bad predicament. Oh, man. Dr. DeB Shaver says, oh, thanks for the super chat. I don't think he says nothing. He just said, look, peace and blessings. Thank you. Let's see here. Roberto ran. We had to rely on our elder scholars for our accuracy in the study of African history, and they had limited resources, 80s and 90s. Absolutely. And even with the limited resources and not limited resources, there was a part of the process. You know, that was a part of the process. And as I told people all the time, that Dr. Naim Akbar and Dr. I think it was Asa G. Hilliard. What was it? Wait, no, I can't remember. But I remember looking at the video with them saying that like we could be totally wrong with this black psychology thing. But the reality is this: is that the reality is that it's for those to become behind us and get things correct if we are wrong. In other words, we're not beyond being corrected. We're not thinking that we have everything accurate. Like I know, like the research, we talking about real research, like the research that they're doing, it's not really real stuff like this stuff that FBA is doing. This is pseudoscience at its best, right? But that's why you can't challenge it, because it's too off. It's political. It's a political agenda. It's a political agenda. If you follow what I'm saying, it's made to cause discord in our communities. The goal is to cause problems. It's not here to be academic or right. It's here to do exactly what it's doing, to cause division within our communities. And hopefully those that I'm highlighting, that they can re-examine what they are doing, and rather than cutting me off, rather than blocking me, rather than acting like I did the worst thing to them ever in history. You know, like, I mean, look, my brothers and sisters, go and talk to our dear sister and hold her accountable. But Roberto ran, Kaba, hold him accountable. Who else? All of them, any of them, all of them, even the ones this FBA. Yeah, I agree with that. Rand, Lord of Slaughter, facts. Now y'all don't get so defensive about our scholars, because even people with the resources can get things wrong. It's not like because we have more resources now that people got stuff right. Let's talk about that. It's not like that poor information can't come out with all these resources. In fact, it makes it probably more likely because people don't know how to research. Back then, at least you had to go and do some research inside of a place and likely fall upon something that was likely more accurate. At least you had to go to the library. You know, now, please, I appreciate that. Yes, Kaba is too far and is a part of the great devolution of what I call, I don't, African-centered thought. I don't really see Kaba as a pan-Africanist, honestly. The worst I can get him is a pseudo African-centered person. Pseudo. I don't, I mean, that's because you, like people say, I do think that Dr. Matt has Pan-African sentiment, but also FBA sentiment. It might be some literally some confusion there, honestly. But it's also a lot of other things there: anger, aggression, dysregulation, bitterness. It's some other things there that's just, that she knows is there. She's articulated it, and she does it to people all the time. This is not just a me thing. She does it all the time. So the agenda is confusion and division, crying and complaining, insulting and degrading. This is what Shabaka says. Other black people, confusion runs deep. Absolutely. Lord of Slaughter said that's true, Doc. I think probably we're talking about the like we can get things wrong with all the information out here. Yes. Yes, Kaba has gone totally pseudo. I think Kaba has started off pseudo. I know that if I started saying things, I know y'all would disagree with a lot of stuff that I will call pseudo. So I will take it light on you all today. Because again, you know, everything pseudo doesn't mean it causes a problem, but this pseudo stuff that FBA is putting out there is causing major problem. Robert Rand says, unfortunately, today it's all about making money and not being accurate with facts. See, the problem is that there are people out here that are, it's not all about the money. They're real scholars out here. We're just using people that aren't really scholars. There's real scholars out here. I'm not even saying they had to go to institutions, but those who get promoted are the non-scholars. These are the people that are really they are YouTubers that don't mean well. They are social mediaites that switch up their hustle. They don't really their identity is not really, they're not steeped in their identity. I know Dr. Ball was speaking about this getting to more radical forms of identity, but sometimes people are steeped in identities that are so rough that they'll never find their way to they'll never find their way to this more radical forms that Dr. Ball is talking about. I'll talk to him about that later, but they will never find them. It's kind of like this. I'll give you an analogy. Dr. Ball often speaks about these movies that people think that will make people more radical, and he challenges people, rightfully so, and I agree with him, about these movies that people think are gonna. I'm trying. It's late. Let me try it. Radicalize people. I was successful. Thank you. Radicalize people due to watching movies like Malcolm X and these other movies, and he argues, and I agree that these movies will not make the populace more radical, or like events like the Super Bowl when you see what's the guy last year that was on the main stage and he was the rapper that said they're not like us, and then the FBA people took that to cause division. Kendrick Lamar, they're not like us, they're not like us, you know what I mean? So that so even in that would seem radical, it's not radical if it made the Super Bowl the main stage. And this is what Dr. Ball speaks to, and I agree with him, because it's too much. Like, it might show you some notions of what seems radical, but in fact it takes a person further away from that which is radical or that which will radicalize them. So I argue that keeping Dr. Ball's same method, which he calls, I think, so maybe the Vernon philosophy, that he should look at identity in a similar way. Just because a person finds themselves in these identity categories, it doesn't mean like, it's like what I'm saying is, when people get these liberal trainings and they tap into these liberal ideologies, which they already trained to believe is radical, it's very difficult for them to find that thing that is more radical. That's what I will argue, and I maintain, Dr. Ball. Let's talk about that. Yeah, I say use your Vernon theory on that. And rightfully so, Dr. Ball asked the question, what type of data do we have to support that? And I asked Dr. Ball, this is what I'm asking Dr. Ball. What kind of evidence do you have to support that people coming through these different camps will find their more radical versions of that identity? That's kind of like saying, from my standpoint, that, okay, you don't care about identity. Now, if you don't care about identity, like Dr. Ball said, he doesn't really care about what people identity they chooses. But if you choose an FBA identity, it's like that's a black identity. Like, I don't care. Like, the reality is, it's going to be harder for those people to wake up and find more radical forms, because they've already been sucked into ideas of FBA. Just the same thing like a lot of these liberal frameworks. They've already been sucked into these liberal ideologies, which they already think are radical. FBA believe that they are radical. Although they say things like, we should be in second position. So, I can't, I don't agree with that. But nonetheless, I'm looking for, maybe Dr. Ball can have a response to that, but I was in there like, I was like, Dr. Ball, you sure? Because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, what is going on? Like, this doesn't add up. And I'm still fleshing it out, as I promised that I would do on that show. But I just don't think that anyone, like, if I can prevent and I can challenge people in any identity category to not have to take that step and have to go through the process of being usurped or confused by these liberal or conservative identities, then I will do my job. I will do my best in doing it. And I know that some of these identities are they're touchy, and we don't want to come across a certain way. But, you know, like, again, like, everybody can talk about the manosphere. That's easy. Look, I think we can talk about the manosphere. But when we talk about feminism, then it gets touchy. If we talk about anything around gender politics, it gets touchy, because the liberal academy there might be something you might have to pay. Like, for example, like, there's something very powerful about what we know as the LGBT community. Again, as I said earlier, it's not about the individuals who have a certain type of sexual preference, lifestyle, gender, ideal, whatever, if they, you know, what they're struggling with, what have you. It's really about the identity which is tied to the ideology. I just want to be really clear. And then all identities have these ideological underpinnings which necessitate them and which guides them. So nonetheless, I have these conversations with my students all the time, and believe me, it's they think that pan-Africanism and African-centeredness, due to these liberal training, and they've been wired into these things, and in some of these things they know are not necessarily always the best, but the training they're steeped in the training so much that if you bring them anything that looks African-centered, they think that is Eurocentric. They call it patriarchal, Eurocentric. Like, I'm not sure. Am I the only one who introduced things like Black womanism, or even Cleo Monago's framework as it pertains to gender and sexuality? Because it's this Black first framework. They like, no, that's patriarchal. Yeah, I somebody reminded, I would never, okay, you funny, Mr. Shavers. I would never identify as a Black masculinist. Yeah, somebody reminded me that I said that a few weeks ago. I mean, I'm not saying the brother Hassan, what's his name, Hassan Johnson or something? Yo, like, you can listen to him. He got like major good points, just like sisters in the feminist camp got major good points, just like people in the LGBT camps. But you got to look at the overall framework and what it does within our community. A lot of them are they lack culture, they lack a race first agenda, and hence they cause division. It's about what you did to me, and with that one, it's like FBA. FBA is in the same category. They just happen to be a more conservative identity category. ADOS, same thing. Look, these identity categories are very dangerous and hard to get people out of them once they're in them. They become indoctrinated in these things, and it prevents and hinders, I would argue, and maybe I'll do some more research on it. It prevents and makes it more difficult for them, for the majority of people, because the majority of people are not really looking at more radical forms of identity once they get into these identities that support them in ways that these other places can't. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. When I looked at the footage from the Pride Festival the other day, and then I look at the Pan-Africanist festivals around town, I don't know, that might be the wrong comparison. Now, I was asked to work there as a clinician, but man, and I thought about going to get the experience to see what is really going on here, but I saw video footage. I was going there for work, y'all. I didn't go. I went to the Caribbean Festival, but I was gonna get paid. But I saw the video footage. It looked like the Million Man March out there, because our community is more supportive of that than, I would argue, and I could be wrong. I could look, but my mind is looking at like our community is more supportive of gender and sexuality. I know I'm not wrong on that, but the evidence of this, like the Pride Festival, I'm not coming for the Pride Festival. What I'm saying is, look, but most of our community are more, that's their political agenda. That's it. I deal with it every day in academia. It's easier to support. That is the ultimate form of being radical at this point. Feminism and gender politics. Gender, yes, that is what is acceptable. That is the most, I always said, that is the most radical you can be in academia. And a lot of people, academics, we've been trained in a way that we think we're being radical, but this is what they accept. This is what academia accepts. Academia even accepts, I would argue, even stronger, what people call leftist politics a lot of times, because they see it as just an academic thing. They don't see it as something that people want to actually carry out. But you hardly will find strong African-centered cultural, when people say culture is not relevant, not important, you will hardly find that in academia, because I would argue, and just the other day as I was talking, and I heard like, well, we're not talking about the same thing. I'm talking about an ideology. I'm talking about a culture. A culture tells you how to see the world, how to experience the world, how to engage in the world, not a dashiki. I'm not talking about just changing your name. I'm not saying these aren't a part of it, but I am speaking about something from a deeper ideological framework, because it will take ideology to bring about that change. See, if you're anarchist, as somebody asked me the other day, like, what do I think about anarchy or something like that? Like, anarchy is, to me, and is acultural. Now, I mean, it might be some different versions of it, what have you, but it's not African-centered. I would argue that if it lacks a cultural analysis, that is problem. I hear people continue to say if it lacks a class analysis. I think that people with that, I think there should be more of a conversation around if it lacks a cultural analysis, then it's lacking. And the class analysis will be part of the cultural analysis, even if they use different words. But it is true, as Dr. Ball says, that sometimes we overlook, it's true, this capitalism and this economics and stuff like that as a part of the struggle, because we'll become what he says is a myth, and I agree, Black capitalists. So yeah, let me you know, I don't know how I got there, but let's see how we can close this one down, y'all. Let's play this a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna put the link in the chat before I get out of here. Oh Lord, it's kind of late now, y'all. Y'all still sticking in here with me, but I'm gonna put in there one more time, and I might have a little bit of time for some people. But please know that I'm coming here in love. I'm coming here to be. It's not easy. It's not easy for me. But I am practicing Mayat. I am practicing principle. I am practicing what we call holding each other accountable. And I think we struggle with that so much in our community, especially those communities who have the cultural aspects of it. Because when we talk about culture, you can't escape culture, no matter whether or not you identify with, like, you can't escape culture. Every movement has a culture. FBA has a culture of sickness. Freedman has a culture of sickness. You see what kind of people they produce, or the type of people that are attracted to them. But I don't think it's the people all the time. I think that these people are vulnerable, just like most of us who find ourselves in these type of cultic type of groups, or attracted to these cult-like figures or cult of personality. So it's not about the people. Let me just be clear. Not even people like Dr. Mayat, or like I just think we need to hold each other accountable, though. I do think that there's certain people need to be held accountable. I think Tariq Nasheed is beyond being held accountable, but we got to hold him accountable real hard. I think there's a need to hold people accountable. I think Dr. Mike can be held accountable if we work together. I think we have to work together. Hold me accountable. Somebody said Tadaka Kilimanjaro has an excellent book geared towards solutions. Roberto, I have given up. Was the FBA ratchet people? African woman. I don't know what that's about. Socialism with African characteristics. I don't know what. Born Lord Allah. I don't know what that means. But is that what you're describing yourself? I don't know what that means. In Philly, the slid Wawa into the crowd. I don't know what that means. So Robert Rand says, discussing the display of debauched societies look like African woman is the throne. So yeah, I think we really have to have conversations around things like sexuality and gender. I think honestly, and I like to I like to look at it from a therapeutic standpoint, that we truly have to have the conversations around that. I don't think we've been really, it's a hard conversation. Just like, I think it's like, we really need to have those conversations in a real way. If y'all remember Dr. Patricia Newton, she spoke about a lot of her ideas around it and sexual trauma and so on and so forth. And, there's debate around it, and I mean, yeah, it's mad debate. I think though, whether or not how you feel, I would suggest you, if it's something that triggers you, I would suggest that you check out Cleo Monago and his ideas around it. What I might do for y'all who can handle it is actually review a video he did with Leaders of Beautiful Struggle on Black Liberation Media, which I think it'll give you some perspective on some of the things I'm speaking about. I think though, no matter what your opinion and views are about things, that we need to have the talk nonetheless. And it's not enough to just, act like things aren't taking place in our communities. Yeah. So, yeah.
You're right. And it's funny because
let's see what we got. I'm gonna get
like
about
maybe
it
a year ago, if not a few months ago, as a great example of that. The singer Tyler, they asked her about her blackness, and she said, "I'm colored," and people were so up in arms and offended, but not understanding black does not exist outside of America the way that. So that's an exactly example. That's a pinpoint example. All right.
Yeah, even in South Africa, even with apartheid, even with experiencing something as close to us as you can get while not being in America. Right, the categories are still like the Bantu people of South Africa, they're called African. And then they have Zulu and different tribes. They don't call themselves black. Then you got the coloreds, and then you got white folks, the Afrikaners.
Yes.
That's it. Right? Now they understand that they were denigrated and marginalized based on being Bantu Africans, or quote unquote their race, because you have the white people and the colored people elevated above them. But at the end of the day, none of them have a tribe that they've labeled black. That they identify as. They all still identify as their individual tribes, and will take up that tribe over another black tribe instead of uniting all together to get what's owed them and take back stuff that maybe the coloreds or the whites were given or took from them. It's a bizarre concept to us because we're like, wait, what? Yeah. And y'all the majority over there?
Right.
Like, you know how much hell we've been able to raise by forever being like 13 or 14% of the population. Bringing more people in on top of us every time we create more of us. Yeah. Like, we can't even fathom that idea of being the majority somewhere and y'all letting the minority come up in there and bust you upside your head with sticks and ropes. not even AK. Like, listen, they gotta roll tanks out and tear gas.
Yeah.
In a city.
Yeah.
That we might be the majority of.
Yeah.
Shit. And so the next part of that what makes that term and that movement almost obsolete of slavery, the institution, now you can see how the trick back can be easily snuck in to say, you know what? Those people deserve reparations. In fact, there's more of a precedent of them getting reparations than those of the enslaved because they already got some before.
Yes.
And so the next part of that what makes that term and that movement almost obsolete to a certain degree is that it was not an organization. It was just a term that was denoting a lineage. Unfortunately, its founder, Yvette Carnell and Antonio Moore, came out and was like, hey, we've been thinking about turning this into an organization. It needs to be an organization. So people are like, well, what happens if you don't join the organization? Can you still use the term ADOS? And they were like, no, we're going to trademark it. And if you use the term, then we're going to take up legal action against you because we own the name. And we want that name to be only for people of the organization that join it. And so now you took a term that already had flaws, but that was supposed to be a delineating term for the entire lineage, whether they agree with you or not, right?
Right.
But now you're saying if you don't agree with us and you don't conform to our ideological position, then you can't even use the name and you shouldn't be using it to identify it. Because I was around when they were first formulated before they became an organization. See, what happened was in the infancy stages of ADOS, it was a hashtag much like BLM.
Yes.
So when something happened, and we already know the issue with BLM, so I'm not saying it was a good thing. I'm just saying we all know something happened online.
Anyway, family, I was trying to find a spot in the video when in this video, just note that he actually speaks to FBA as being another term that he approves of. Just like Tariq said, he approves of it, of using Freedman, and they just terms that you can use. What's the word I'm looking for? That you can interchange the terms and things of that nature and use it in different settings. And some settings it's best to use this, and some settings best to do that. But I'm gonna play this video. I don't think nobody jumped in here. I'm gonna play this video on the way out right here. Now, okay, let's see here. I think I don't know. Okay, here we go.
We all originated. Yeah.
Now, this is a different perspective, but I do want to just, I mean, it's not necessarily a different perspective, but it's more of a scientific perspective. And
we all came out of Africa. Okay. We all originated. Yeah. So basically every human form, humans, origin is in Africa. There is no dispute about none that at all. None, zero at all. So now let me lead into that by saying, people, you say Americans, and you say, oh, they'll say, well, what are you? That's well, I'm Italian. Well, where are you born? America. Where are your parents born?
Listen.
Brooklyn. Where are their parents born? Italy. Right. So I'm Italian. Right. All right. Here's another one. Okay.
So I just think that's one example, and it's not everybody, but that people still use terms and they've been removed several generations, many generations.
Okay. What are you? Oh, I'm Swedish. Okay. Well, where were you born? I'm born in New York. Where were your parents born? New York. Where are their parents? Because that's the immigrant. Right. Where were their parents born? No, I get it right. So we'll come through. Where are their parents born? Minnesota. Okay. Where are their parents born? Minnesota. Where are their parents born? Sweden. So I'm Swedish. Right. You see what they're doing? Yeah. They're going back their tree, finding the place that fits, that soothes their need to have some kind of an association, even if they've never been to that place.
Recently found out that he have So I just want to give you a
and they stop there.
A little evidence.
Okay. What I tell them all is, why don't you keep going? Just keep going. No, I just want to be from Sweden. I'm Swedish. Okay, keep going. And if you keep going, we're all African.
Now, social politically, we know that, but he's going to get into the nuance here. So just give him a chance.
There is an ancestor of yours that is African. If you go far enough back on the tree, but you stopped in Sweden and you stopped in Italy and you stopped in Poland, keep going back. The tree, the human tree of life, traces back to Africa. So now,
He's also showing you that if you're going back so far, why don't you continue going back? Because you've been taught not to know who the white thinking or white supremacy ideology or whatever term you want to use, whiteness has trained nobody to want to be African.
We come out of Africa.
Yes.
Some continue north.
Yes.
It's costly to sustain dark skin.
Yes.
It's a nutritional cost on you. So you go north, the sun is not there as much. The dark skin rapidly goes away and people just turn white. Okay, evolutionarily.
Yes.
And then, so some went there, some went towards Asia.
Yes.
There's some dispute about whether they went south or north, but went into Asia, populated Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Then they kept going. This is during the Ice Age. Wow. How do you get an ice age? Water evaporates from the oceans.
Yes.
Goes into the sky. It's so cold, it comes back out as snow. The snowflake lands on the countryside, and never goes away because the world is below freezing. So the snowflake is just there.
Right.
Had it been rain, the water would.
So so he's going through some scientific explanation, and he's going to get somewhere. I want you to listen, because this gets back to some of the things that we want to talk about. Me and Cuz will be talking about this whole idea around the pretendians and all that.
Would have just worked its way back to the ocean, and you'd have this circulation of water. But during the Ice Age, you drain the ocean of its water, deposit the water on land, it never returns to the ocean. The ocean levels drop, exposing a land bridge between Asia and North America.
Okay.
That's the famous Bering Strait.
Right.
And so the migrating human ancestors, it was just land. They just walked across the Bering Strait.
Yeah, this is for my pretendians. You know what I mean? Let's keep listening, and maybe we'll pick up on this. Is for those those Africans who say they were already here in the ways that they saying that we were already here.
Then the Ice Age ended. The waters melt back into the ocean. The ocean levels rise, closes off the Bering Strait, stranding an entire branch of the human species in North and South America, and Europe has no memory of this. Wow. That's why it's called the New World. There it was. And the rest of the world had wars, they interbred, they did whatever. And there it is. So.
But Warner, what you mean? Okay, cool.
Even though Columbus was a dick, okay?
Okay.
The most important thing he did was reconnect two branches of the human species.
Okay, hear him out, y'all. Don't get too don't get too scared already. Let him rock out. Let him rock out.
That had been separated for 10,000 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Look, one thing I want to say. Look, you don't have to agree. We don't have to agree with everything, but I do think that we have to learn how to talk. We do need to learn how to hold space for one another, and we need to talk about these subjects, all the subjects, all the identities, everything. We need to talk about it, because in fact, our people are a part of any and every identity category you can possibly think of. Even I bet you can find a black KKK person. So that's why I disagree again. Hey, Dr. Ball, don't come for me, man. But you as far as every identity you find is going to lead you to just find a more radical. Nah. I know that's not what you meant, but man, look, that's a more extreme reason why I can't go with that statement.
Had that never reconnected, that's the precise setup for biological evolution to have a branch separate away from the branch that got it there. That's why Australia's animals are so weird.
Yes.
Because Australia separated from the mainland long ago.
Yes.
On an evolutionary time scale.
Yes.
So they got kangaroos and
their snakes are so deadly. They got the most.
But Juana, I think that what I would say, well, I guess I think I get what you're saying, but Juana, you rock with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He represents the conversations we really need to be having. We should be having, in my opinion. I think what you're saying is that if there wasn't so much confusion out here, that we could be discussing things like this. In fact, this is about identity, by the way. So, and this is about identity crisis. So I'm not sure whether or not, I'm not sure if your statement actually lines up. But I do understand what you're saying, I think what you're saying, typically what he speaks about, we need to speak to more of that. And we shouldn't, in an ideal sense, an ideal world, if we weren't so confused, and we wouldn't be having to have these type of conversations. And you wish that was the case, but it's just not. I think that's what you're saying there, Bawana. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
It's got venom.
Yeah,
up the
inland taipan, the coastal taipan, and the common brown.
Okay, they got stuff the rest of the world never seen or heard of.
And keep it over there
because it got isolated.
Yeah,
that's right, Robert Rand. You know, we all, you know, he is an astrophysicist, not a biologist. So of course there's more nuance that people can speak in different, you know, there's specialization in all types of fields. Yeah.
So you will evolve if you're subject to your own environmental forcing, and you're not interbreeding with the rest of the world. Okay.
Help me understand this.
But right now, everybody's interbreeding with everybody. Airplanes enable this.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody.
Thanks, Wright brothers. Help me understand this.
Wait, the Wright brothers.
No problem there, but one, I interpreted what I kind of picked up on what you're saying. Boy, somebody said, "What about Delbert Blair?" I'm gonna say to you, "What about Delbert Blair?" Well, you're gonna have to give me more questions. No need for sorry, even Bawana. Neil is so evolutionary is a evolutionary biologist. His expertise is astronomy. Okay.
Wait, don't blame them because they.
Yes.
Do you realize?
Yes.
The Boeing 707 jet, the first ever commercial jet. It came from the military.
Yes.
First ever commercial jet came out in 19.
What you apologizing for? Time 8T87 T8V. There's no need. I mean, if you no need to apologize to me if you're apologizing to me. Double Blair is just another conversation, though. I have touched on, and I will touch on because it's a lot there where his ideas have hurt our community and still hurting our communities, impacting our brains. You know, pseudo African-centered thought. When I say pseudo African-centered thought, note that I'm not saying African-centered thought is pseudo. I am saying that is pseudo African-centered thought. There's real African-centered thought, and then there's pseudo African thought, and I put his in the realm of that, even if it makes African-centered at all. But people typically from those communities kind of gravitate towards that as a way to, you know, people. Yeah, we can talk about it. Look, Brother Shaver said, "Don't start." Yeah, I'll stay on. I'll stay the course.
58. Its wingspan is the distance that the Wright brothers first flew. We went from the Wright brothers flight, to a Boeing 707 plane in 55 years. With a wingspan is the distance they flew.
Damn. That wasn't very far.
It wasn't very far. But we made great advances. And people who were in denial that we have smart humans among us, they just say aliens helped. We reverse engineered the aliens.
That's Coach Shannon.
Yeah, that's it. You know, he even touches on it. You know, the aliens did it. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that we got to deal with. You know what I mean? And what my point here
to get 50.
My point here is that for those pretendians, we're gonna pick up on y'all too, because the FBAs and the pretendians and the especially the freedmen, they got a connection with the pretendians, although they all try to act like they're bigger and better than another person. If you ever talk to people who are addicted to some type of drug or different drugs, you'll see that they try to be snobbier than other. Oh no, oh no, I didn't smoke this, I smoked that. Oh no, they didn't smoke. I was a something head, but I didn't do it like that. I had it under control, you know. So I'm saying this kind of like with the FBAs and the ADOs and they try to be better than the others, you know, but they're all on a drug called being deluded, misguided, misled, confused. And I do have empathy for my dear brothers and sisters within who found their ways as identifying with these camps. Again, I believe that I would argue, maintain that them being engaged with these camps have put up barriers to them getting to those more radical approaches. And yeah, family, I really thank you all for your time, you coming in today. Let me see, what do I have in closing? What do I have in closing? I do this because I do want us to do better. I do this not to hurt people, but again, to hold us accountable. I also want people to hold me accountable. I want us to learn to talk about things that are not easy. So I want to serve as a model as well. Like, we don't have to beat each other up, even if we disagree. And I honestly do. I will argue, I maintain, and I know it's not always popular, but we need to have discussions about all of it, and not all of the things, all the identities, every last one. I know that we pick and choose, but our people are everywhere. And the way that we've been doing it, I would argue, is not going to work. It hasn't worked. People are reaching out and doing things and finding themselves in all types of, if I can use the term, counter-revolutionary, counter-pan-Africanist, counter-Black Senate, counter race first, counter pan-Africanists. And they even mean well. And lots of times they're protecting, or they're trying to heal, or they're trying to find a way to feel like they belong to something due to their hurt, their pain, and their trauma. And then there's people who capitalize on them. Like this brother right here say, my ninja, Freaky Ricky, Umar Johnson, and the others. Family, I appreciate you again joining me. Make sure you like this video, you hype this video, you subscribe to the channel, you share this video. And look, I love my people. I love my sister, Dr. Mayat. I even love Baba Kaba. But people who haven't yet dealt with the things that are unsettled in them will run amok in our community, causing harm because they haven't dealt with their own pain. Peace and power.
When you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
Generalized black woman is doing this and being this. That is that is irresponsible.
No, when you claim you're Africanist, you're going to get your mind back.
Showing me,
Black and proud. Claim you're Africanist.
Because I think that if as a person who has a page,
What is the status of people who have FBA?
When you claim you're African, you're gonna get your mind back.
That's why I was laughing, because I am
claim you're African.
I'm not saying the framework doesn't do a thing, but
become a part of it.
We've been
embrace
forward to black men
become a
the
part
masters
of it.
being
Embrace
in control. We must
become a
have
part
our
of
own,
it.
only
Embrace it.
That those to me one of the
Become a
best
part
stories I've
of
ever heard.
Embrace it. When you claim you're African, you're gonna get your mind
that
back.
mental growth takes place. You've been misled by leadership, for instance, that thinking you can consume.
When you claim you're African, you're gonna get your mind back. Black and I'm proud. Claim you're African. Black and I'm proud. I'm telling you,